I stepped back and gestured to the wizard beside me. No, it's not. It says 3, 2, 1, stream delay.
Alright. Hello, everyone. Welcome on in.
Hello! Stream delay!
Stream delay. I guess without further ado, start.
I mean, this is just a... Oh, wait, yeah, we're doing this again.
Yeah, okay. I think the other one said previously read because it accidentally hit start when trying to go back for the bad endings. It's okay, though. That first one wasn't too new.
Sorry, I was just posting stuff.
It's okay. I can act. Let me go. Let me magic. I'm gonna go back to that first one.
Alright.
Leo. Magic.
No, World of Darkness. By the way, suddenly you find yourself lost in a world of darkness. Hello, piano.
Where am I? I keep walking and walking, but I can't seem to find a single exit. It's so dark. I can't see a thing. I can't even tell how far I've walked, or how much time has passed.
Pausing because, like, isn't this how, like, those bad ends kind of started? Ricky getting too far in the darkness, he can't see anything.
Kind of? I know that's how Snow's thing started. As for the other bad ends, most of the time he's just like, he just pops in out of nowhere. Or like, we go to a scene that we've already been to and he just pops in and suddenly it's like, oh, by the way, you picked the wrong path. Fuck off.
No, I definitely meant, like,
try
specifically the bad ends from Snow's route, because those are important.
Yeah, those are the important ones. Yeah, she gets enveloped by darkness, and that was like Snow's dream falling apart, or like collapsing in on itself, or like outcasting her from the dream.
And then also, like, every single, like, episode started this way, so that's interesting.
Yeah, I did have some thoughts. I remember writing them down to you a couple days ago.
Anyway.
Let me see if I can find stuff.
Ugh.
So the crazy one that I'm pretty sure is not right was that Reikyu is a mere copy of herself that has been thrust in to kind of wrap up these tales that have gone a little bit too astray. So she is both puppet master and
Puppet.
person going through and solving the issues. But it's like two different versions of her. But like that one feels just absolutely wrong because you're like, hey, don't think of it as like a single entity. There was also the other one that I kind of like remember I wrote like half influenced, or not half influenced, but like half Delulu like last week. So it's like let's see. So I'm thinking the mirror is more important than just in Snow's route because the magic mirror is a thing in Snow White's story. I think it's more about Alice, specifically through the looking glass. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, we're trying to figure out how Alice fits into all this, the other Alice.
Yeah.
It's like a very famous story involves not like everybody knows Alice in Wonderland, duh. But like the other major story that has Alice is Through the Looking Glass.
Yep.
So that's where I was starting to get that connection. I'm like, okay, so it's like Through the Looking Glass, you enter another world. That's kind of what we're doing here. Obviously, that's like some sort of inspiration for the setting of this game.
Yeah.
And that it's like something losing memories. But like as we started seeing with like these cold opens throughout the episodes, the two Alices have been recognizing each other a little bit more often. Or like they're still behaving like they would, but obviously they still have like the lingering.
They can tell they have
fragments
a
of their
connection, but they don't know why.
They have a connection, we don't know why. It could also be like the two Alices are just literally mirror reflections of each other, if we're thinking more about Snow's route. Because I feel like Snow's route had a little bit more like, here's what we're doing, but like, we're not going to tell you how we're doing it just yet.
Yeah.
Anyway, I already read this.
Okay, I couldn't remember. He ended up talking for too long.
Yeah, of course.
No matter where you go, the scenery around you remains static and unchanging. It's like the darkness has consumed everything. All sense of direction, even the very concept of time itself.
What would you do without the concept of time itself, Sakio?
I don't know, I dissociate a lot, so...
Fair.
Not the best person to ask.
Were you to stand perfectly still and hold your breath, the only sound would be that of your own heartbeats. What am I doing here? Who am I? You can't remember a thing. Not even your own name.
You could tell that my brain buffered after you read that previous line.
I can't remember anything, just like the narrator said. Alone in the dark, fear and loneliness overwhelms you. Hello? Is anyone there? If you're there, say something, please. No one's here. Was I always alone? Or did I lose someone along the way? I don't know. I don't know anything.
Girlie, let me tell you, that's not an amnesiac problem.
You soon grow tired of walking, but something spurs you forward in spite of yourself. Maybe I'll find something just up ahead.
As you can tell, I've been practicing the Reiki voice.
Good job. I don't know.
Nah, it's just because we're in Factory 3, honestly.
Fair.
A lot of girl voices in that one.
Valid.
Your morale is in tatters, and your legs are threatening to give out, but you press on regardless. Ah! What on earth?
Out of nowhere, something seizes you by the lake, threatening to pull you down into its inky depths.
No! You struggle with all your might, refusing to let the shadow swallow you up. Stop it! Someone, help!
Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
You!
Me? No thanks. I'll pass.
That's weird. I feel like this opening is way different than the other stuff. I know it says it doesn't, like, there's no, like, previously read, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm. You're a selfish, weak, pathetic fool. You can't do anything on your own. Why should I help a sad, petty, spoiled creature who has nary a shred of courage nor confidence?
What?
Right now, the darkness is trying to consume you. Do you know why that is? Because you have no self. You don't know who you are, correct?
Oh no, Alice has the brain cell.
Who are you? What's the matter? You can't even remember who you are.
Well... I'm just me!
Good grief. Completely hopeless.
Alice is like, oh, okay, he is helping.
Yeah. Here, grab hold.
Okay.
The way his, like, delivering his lines is also different than normal too, which I want to note.
It seems like he knows what's going on. He knows more than what's going on this time. He's not like amnesiac this time. It's like he knows what's going on now.
Maybe, but also, like, it is making me think of the times when the wizard wasn't present, but Alice was instead in other routes. And also, like, at least one of the lines in particular read a lot more like the wizard than Alice would.
Oh, like you have no sense of self?
Let me look at the log. I don't think it was that one specifically. Let's see.
Let's see. Right now the darkness is trying to consume... Oh wait, you're a selfish, weak, pathetic fool.
Yeah, this felt more like the wizard than Alice.
Yeah. I don't think the wizard's ever been that antagonistic, but especially in Snow's route, he's like, oh yeah, fuck you.
But also just like the word choice too is very much so more wizard than Alice too.
Yeah. Like he's outside of the story.
Yeah, it's like a little poetic in a way,
Yeah.
like how he does his narration, that type of stuff.
Which is why Alice is gonna pull us through the wizard's route.
Oh boy. You read that right?
Yeah.
We'll make a run for it.
Right! Hand holding.
Well, we know that's not wizard because it's definitely got Alice's stamina.
Me too, though, Alice. Me too.
Do you think we're safe here? Wait, what the?
Look at that face!
Poor Alice.
He is in agony.
Me too, though, buddy. Me too.
As someone with asthma, I understand this pain. Gym class, we're gonna do the fitness test. Why'd you only do half as long as the other students? Fuck off.
I remember my personal record for the pacer test was only 13.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people come in like 13, 14, 15. Only some people go in like full 20-ish, and it's like they're like superhumans.
Are you okay?
Do I look okay to you? Not only did you run faster than me, you started dragging me along with you. It's supposed to be saving you, you Nimrod. Did anyone ever teach you how to stroke a man's seagull?
Did you also get the same mental image of just Reiki just booking
Yes.
it and Alice just flying behind like a wreck?
I need to remember to draw that. That's hilarious.
Oh, right. Wow, you were incredible. I'm so impressed.
Nah, it was nothing.
There we go, stroking the ego. There we go.
I see right through you, you stink. I know you expect me to buy your BS wholesale and get a big head about it, but it won't work, because everything you said was so blatantly phony. I love Alice.
I know. I kind of wish he was in more Chapter 3 stuff, you know?
I think it's gonna be more present when Wizards are out. Not just because I've seen
like,
CGs or screenshots and stuff, but...
Well, it's also like they're kind of interconnected.
Yeah,
and also
definitely.
We haven't seen Alice for like Snow's route.
Yeah.
He wasn't really there for Gretel's route.
No one was really there for Gretel's route, though.
Yeah. And then, what was the other one?
Kaguya. Yeah,
Yeah, so
he wasn't really present for episode 2 at all.
Yeah, like episode 2 he wasn't there. Episode 3 Snow Route wasn't there. I know he gets his own chapter, but it seems like with how prevalent he was as like a side character, kind of jokey for like chapter 1.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting more of his antics through chapter 2 and chapter 3, so it's kind of nice to see him again. But like, damn.
Is also acting like himself as we know him now too, unlike when this just started today.
Yeah.
Which is nice, refreshing. I like this Alice.
Yeah, because like the Alice from the Snows route at the start of the Snows route, he's just like, I don't know who I am either, and I kind of think I know you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna be super weird about it. I'm not gonna act like normal.
I'm sorry, but I do appreciate you playing along.
You're so damn condescending.
Anyway, thanks for saving me.
It's Alice.
See, he knows who he is.
Alice, what a wonderful name. Say, do you know who I am?
What, you think you're famous or something? Not only are you condescending, you're clearly self-obsessed. How would I possibly know who you are?
You don't? But back when the darkness attacked, you called me a selfish, weak, pathetic fool who can't do anything on my own. And all of that. Were you not talking to me when you said that?
Who knows?
You would, buddy.
Not only that, but when you asked me, you don't know who you are, correct? You implied that you knew I had amnesia. Doesn't that mean you know more about me than I do?
That would be how amnesia works.
Yeah, I do.
I knew it!
You're such an airhead. One minute your life is in danger, the next you're practically laughing it off.
Well, yeah. The crisis has been averted.
I mean, sure, but Reikyu.
Reikyu. Focus.
Ever heard of out of the frying pan and into the fire?
I don't see any fires around here. Besides, I got you.
I think Reiki's autistic.
She might be.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But we also know she does this shit on purpose to get a rise out of Alice.
True.
Because when he calls her out on it, she's just like,
Yeah. You think I'm going to save you? Typical fake feminist. You scream about how you hate gender roles, but the second it's inconvenient for you, you want them back? God damn
I
it.
mean,
Alice.
fair.
No, I don't expect you to save me. But as long as you're around, I have nothing to fear. Oh, and obviously, if you're ever in trouble, I'm happy to help you.
And what if you're in trouble?
I'd certainly appreciate it if you lent a hand.
It always comes back to that, doesn't it? That's Alice.
Alice.
Anyway, where are we? Do you know?
How about you use your own brain for once instead of constantly relying on other people?
Chapter 2, let's go.
Maybe we're in hell?
Maybe.
Hell canon, let's go.
It's so dark and empty. Very dull. But then again, if it was actually hell, I wouldn't have met you.
I agree, Alice. You have a point. I don't know for sure. At the very least, this doesn't feel like real life.
If this isn't reality, then maybe a dream is the next most realistic alternative.
To be fair, Dream Theory has been there since the beginning. That's not a new, like, snow thing.
Yeah. Let me see what you did there.
Seriously though, I think I'm onto something here. Think about it. In a dream, suddenly the impossible is made possible, and anything can happen.
Now that I think about it, every other time it's been, like, mentioned at this point, it's
Alice has said it.
Yeah, not Reikyu.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because it is a very interesting thing.
So this is my dream. Does that mean you're just some fictional character my brain created?
Or conversely, maybe you're the fictional character.
Plot twist, they both are.
Other plot twist, they're both the same character.
Which dreamed it? You or me? Whoever doesn't wake up will disappear. I'm fine. They're both being quiet. Awesome. Arisu.
Who's that?
You idiot. I'm tired of not having a name to call you by. Fair.
It's fair.
Sounds a lot like your name, though.
Then you come up with something.
Exactly.
No, mine is English style. Yours is Japanese style. Oh, Alice.
Also, Arisu is the only one that is the only character that we've seen that speaks in both English and Japanese. But Alice and Arisu very make that clear distinction. Like, no, I'm English. You're Japanese. You're the Japanese. You're the Japanese saying of it.
Yeah.
Just an interesting thing to point out.
Where maybe in the original Japanese, it could be that Alice, like boy Alice, isn't katakana, but to your character is in hiragana. That could be what they're playing here.
Could be it.
Yeah.
Could be.
Anyhow.
I don't know. Everything else has been pretty consistent with that fact, though.
I mean, cause like, you need to keep in mind like the way they have to like translate things to make sense for English. It's like having Arisu like randomly speak in Japanese is actually like in the original version her speaking in English, so they just swapped it for that type of convenience. And
that's the easy ones.
Yeah. But it wouldn't make sense if like just Alice had his name in like Robochi and no one else. I think everyone's names is in katakana, which is for loan words. So like translation of like English style versus Japanese like kind of makes sense as a translation to keep it somewhat consistent.
Yeah. Okay. I see.
Language insight.
How's wizarding around? We haven't got to the wizard yet, but we're having some fun with Alice. He's definitely knowing more than he's letting on this time around, because he's like, oh yeah, I know of you. I know of you this time. And he seems to have more of an idea of what's going on here. Because he's like, oh yeah, the darkness is trying to eat you because you have no sense of self right now. And that's the first time that anybody's called out why the darkness tries to eat Arisu, Reikyu. So it's very much like Alice knows more than what he's letting on right now. But it is interesting that Arisu is the one that brought up the dream theory this time instead of Alice. Because typically what's been going on is that Alice would bring up the dream theory and be like, use your brain for once, please. Think about it. It's not real life. It's either dream or we're dead. And this doesn't seem like hell to me. Well, Alice might say it is hell, but, you know. But yeah, so we haven't got to the wizard yet. We're still in the void. But it is interesting that this is all not previously read. Because this is like the intro, quote unquote. So we are getting new information by starting Wizards Are Out.
Now follow me.
Huh? Whoa!
Also interesting.
Yeah, because now he's like, hey, I'm going to take the lead here. Because typically he's always been the one that's being led. Because he's just like, I don't care. I'm just going to sit in the darkness. It's my friend now. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Hand in hand, you wander through the darkness. Moments earlier, you were overwhelmed with fear. But now the warmth of his hand reassures you. I saw stars for half a second.
So, where are we going? Thank you for helping me find my way. You're a good person, Alice.
And then he's just gonna shove her into the wizard's portal.
That would be funny.
Just like, drop her right through.
Yeah, I am. I'm the nicest guy I know. Really. I'm due for my Nobel Peace Prize any day now. Too bad I'm plagued by some imbecile who won't leave me alone. Oh, Alice.
Are you also the only guy you know?
Now we just need to work on your attitude problem.
But it's cute.
He's a tsundere. And so the friendly conversation continues.
Friendly.
I mean, it is more friendly than some of their other conversations, let's be real here.
I guess.
No ground to walk on, no concept of time, no one else in sight, and yet, with Alice at your side, you don't miss any of it. You walk, and walk, and walk, until there appears before you a giant looking glass. Not two, one.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa! Sugoi! Is this a crystal? That's funny. I can see my reflection. Is this really me?
Correct. That brainless ditzy looking fruit girl is you. What are you giggling about? You're freaking me out. Are you that entertained by your own vapid appearance? Typical bimbo doesn't know how to use her brain. You really said bimbo. Goddamn.
Wow.
You know, Alice, I'm glad you're here with me.
Huh?
I beg your pardon?
'Cause a bimbo needs a himbo.
I knew that'd get you.
I mean...
I have no memory of myself, so I wouldn't have known this was me. But with you around to show me who I am, I'm able to establish myself, or rather, myself.
Interesting.
They say recognizing yourself in a mirror is the first stage of self-awareness. It's the first way in which a human being is able to objectively view themselves.
Like in Snow's route.
Guess that makes you my mirror.
Yeah, I guess it does.
Is Alice the magic mirror? Find out later.
Do you think this mirror is a gateway to another world?
Passing through the mirror to a different realm. Sounds like a fairy tale.
Yeah, it's called Through the Looking Glass, you fucker. Read a book.
What do you suppose this world beyond the looking glass is like?
A mirror reflection of this one, obviously.
I mean, fair.
So they're total opposites? Like you and me?
Yearning to travel to the other side, you reach out to the mirror. And suddenly, it radiates a blinding light.
Ah!
Wizord.
That's not snow. Sorry, you were saying something?
Oh, I just said Wizord.
Wizard. When the light fades, the mirror no longer reflects you, but someone else.
Who is he?
Wizard.
Wizord. Megazord.
He's dressed entirely in black, like he's draped in all the world's darkness.
You prod the surface of the mirror with your finger, and it ripples like water.
Looks like he'll let us through.
Arisu.
What's up?
What are you planning to do?
Escape from this world, obviously.
My. If this is a dream, then anything you do would be pointless.
Maybe. Or maybe it's a lucid dream, and I can control the outcome at will. And if that's the case, I'd like to try and brighten this place up a bit.
You're honestly so self-centered. I don't even know if the person having this dream wants you to do that. Dreams are just that, dreams. The more enjoyable it is, the sadder you'll be when you wake up.
So you think I should just shrug my shoulders and give up?
Maybe the dreamer will be better off never waking up.
There we go.
Look, I know I'm just some selfish frou-frou girl like you said. But I want this dream to be so much fun that they wake up from it feeling warm and fuzzy. Besides, if I'm literally part of this dream right now, then that means my viewpoint is at least partially the dreamer's too. I mean, think about it. If this is a dream, then you and I share the same consciousness.
Point taken. Knowing you. You can make it happen, Arisu.
Darn right I can!
Together, you and... Ooh, okay, so Alice is also reaching out to the mirror. This time he's not being dragged through. Which is also interesting.
Yeah.
Together, you and Alice reach out to the mirror. Then you walk through the glass and jump down into the looking glass world. Because he's always been dragged.
Yeah.
As an unwilling participant in this entire thing. One day, as we were playing yet another game of chess. Oh, wait, who's this?
I feel like the wizard, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, you want to read it then?
Since I'm not 100% sure, I'll leave it to you.
Okay, so I'll just keep reading until we know for sure.
Yeah.
She said to me.
Okay, yeah, wizard.
Fun fact, when a girl falls in love, it changes her as a person.
She gets all shy.
That, or sometimes she'll get more easily frustrated. Being in love makes you want to do anything and everything for that special person. Even if the whole world is against you, you still want to help them.
Love is blind, as they say.
Tunnel vision comes with the territory, yeah. Naturally, if you're gonna turn the world against you, you have to be prepared for the consequences. You have to be strong enough to handle it. But love doesn't make you strong. It just makes you desperate to the point that it changes you.
So basically, you evolve.
Yup.
Sounds like a pawn. If a pawn reaches the opposing side, it can be promoted to a stronger piece.
Yep, that's how chess works.
Right. Keep charging forward and you can turn yourself into a rook, bishop, knight, or even a queen.
This is a story about searching one's soul for the truth. And the protagonist is you, Narukami. Oh my god, we got Wolf. How the fuck am I supposed to do Wolf again?
Good luck, but I find it interesting that the border is, like, black.
Still wizard.
No, because the wizard is that, like, dark, like, maroon color.
Oh, that's weird. There is a border. Anyway.
Come on, Mr. Huntsman. Are you seriously gonna let him handle it? I don't trust him as far as I can throw him.
Don't worry. I don't trust him either.
Awesome.
Then what are we doing here?
We don't have a choice. This is our job.
I get that, but like,
Look, just because we can't trust him doesn't mean he's useless to us. He's a wizard, remember?
A wizard.
A wizord.
Wizard.
もしもーし。
hello?
いか
Anybody home?
Hi. いますよ。
I hear you. The door's open, so come on in.
じゃ、遠慮なしに。
Okay then. Here goes nothing.
お邪魔しまーす。
Sorry for the intrusion.
I'm trying not to go into the Gretel voice right now.
Fair.
ようこそ
What the
黒猫
fuck?
探偵事務所へ。仕事のご依頼かな
Nice fit.
浮気調査から
Great fit, but why are you wearing it,
何でもござれ
And
Because
thank
it
you.
looks nice.
He's a detective now.
Let's go. Detective Wizard.
Oh, he's a wizard because he's a really good private eye. I get it, because it's like magic.
Maybe. Welcome to
Anyway.
Black Cat Investigations. Do you need a private eye? Whether it's adultery investigation, appraisal, analysis, or anything else, I'm your... Wait a minute. It's just Yoshi and Wolf.
Hello.
Well, that's no fun.
Wow.
Gee, sorry we're so boring. To think I bothered bringing you a case at all.
Now watch him change his tune real quick.
Let's get out of here, Wolf.
ウィース。
Okie dokie.
Ah, wait. At least let me pour you a drink.
I told you, he changed his tune real quick.
お茶菓子もよろしく。
I'll take grape juice and a side of cake.
Interesting combination. I'll kind of want to try it.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
You think it's just gonna be like a vanilla cake?
I feel like it has to be like something vanilla or vanilla adjacent.
Yeah, it can't be anything with like too much flavor to it, because you're gonna want like something to like soak up the grape juice a little bit.
Yeah. Or shortbread would be a good match too.
Ooh, yeah, or like a nice raisin. No, you're already getting the grape.
Yeah, raisin would be too much.
Raisin would be too much.
You drive a hard bargain.
Like a banana bread would be really good with that, though.
So, what's the case?
Girl, occupation, single.
I mean, you know Reiki Arisu, yeah?
そ
They might.
う帰るぞ
Let's just go. Wolf.
狼
ラジャー。
Roger Dodger.
Ah, wait. I know her, okay? I know her.
Ryushi's just like, yeah, I'm not playing your games. We're doing this my way, or you're not getting a case.
This is beautiful.
It's nice seeing the wizard flustered for once.
Yeah.
君の大切な妹君で
We are, of course, speaking of your sweet baby sister, the princess of the Looking Glass world, correct?
She's always a princess.
She ain't that sweet, pal.
でそ
Okay,
のアリス
well,
嬢が
what
どうした
about
の
her?
まさか
There hasn't been some kind of
遺産相続に関
inheritance
する
scandal,
殺人事件
has
で
there?
巻き込まれたとか
That's not far off. Oh, okay.
Oh?
誰
What?
誰
Who
誰
died?
が殺されたの
You!
Nobody yet.
Oh?
まだ
So you're
ということ
saying...
はこれか
There's
ら
a
起きるかも
possibility
しれ
that
ないって
someone
ことだよ
will?
ね
I mean, I feel like there's always that possibility, but...
Yeah, but I feel like he's saying, hey, Reiki's gonna be murdered, and we need you to investigate who's going to do this.
Maybe. You guessed it.
おい
Show him Wolf.
狼
Oh, is it gonna be the big bad
これを
wolf?
見てください。
Righto. Here, take a look.
これは
What's
Because
this?
this looks a lot like Red's route.
Does it?
I mean, besides the wizard's outfit, yeah.
Are you just saying that because Wolf is here, though?
No, I'm saying that because like the whole thing of Red's route was Red sent a letter saying, "Hey, I'm gonna get revenge on you."
Right, I forgot about that. And Red pretending to be a cop.
Yeah, and then Red pretending to be a cop. Like, I
Hmm.
wonder. Let's keep moving.
開けてみろ。
Open it. Oh boy.
次
To
の満月
Arisu,
の
on the
晩
next full moon, I will
私は
take
あ
your
なたの
life.
命を紡ぐ
Only
こと
one
に
thing
なる
will
でしょう
save you. Choose one of the 5 brothers to be your husband. Cinderella,
Cinderella,
Snow White,
白雪
Red Riding Hood,
赤月
Kaguya, or
かぐ
Gretel.
や
That's a
グレーテルの
weird
4人の兄弟
fucking
の中
letter.
から一
Yeah.
人を未来の
Also, it's in the
夫として
shape of a
選ぶこ
wolf.
Yeah, huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But Red Riding Hood is mentioned in the letter
と
too.
Yeah.
ご丁寧に切り抜きで作ったんだ
I see. It's made with cutout
犯人は
letters.
よほどの
The
暇
culprit
人
must have a
と見え
lot of free time on his hands.
Or like all of the neighborhood's newspapers.
それだけか
That's it.
随分と変わっ
For
た
a
脅迫
blackmail
状だ
letter,
ね
it's quite peculiar.
誰か一人と
Marry
結ば
someone
れ
or
な
I'll
ければ
kill you.
殺しますなん
Usually
て
it's the opposite.
逆ならまだわからない
True.
ああ
Yeah, for
そう
sure.
だな見方によって
It
は
could
恋
even
の
be
キュー
read
ピ
as
ッ
an
ドのようだ
attempt to play Cupid.
こうして二人は
And
結ば
so
れ
they lived
幸
happily
せに
ever
暮らし
after.
ましたとさ
Then,
め
Also,
でたしめでたしってさ
also, they're calling out the fact that all of them are brothers to Reikyu. Wolf's just sad he's not included on that list. Let's be honest.
well, I said one of the brothers, not that they're her brothers necessarily, that they are brothers to each other. That's how
I thought
I
it said
interpreted
one
it.
of your brothers. Can we go back to the log real quick?
One of
Choose
the
one
5.
of the. Oh, one of the 5. Okay, not one of your 5. Got it.
Let me perish for a sec, hang on.
Okay, have fun perishing. See you in the next reincarnation.
I think I'm gonna be doing a lot of perishing this stream.
Hi, Sock2.
Stop.
No.
But this does make me curious though, cause like
Yeah.
ran out of thoughts in my head. Hang on, buffering.
It's making you curious because it's a letter in the shape of a wolf that specifically says, "Hey, marry some bitch." Out of these 5 specific people.
Okay, not exactly because of that, but like since it's like everyone that we've dated thus far, like
Yes.
maybe it's just like those previous routes were started by something like this, maybe. So like this might have been like a prequel to whatever, maybe.
Maybe.
Small
Maybe it's like,
chance.
"Hey, we're gonna have you date all these boys, and you'll get with one of them."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still got the border on it, which usually means like, "Hey, we're seeing things as they actually happened."
No, the border
That's-
means we're in the one of the boys' perspectives, and they've been like
Yeah.
color coded. No one's.
This one is like
It's black, which is interesting.
Yoshi's.
I mean, it could be, but like we've never had his like specifically his point of view
True.
before.
So it is wizard.
It might be the wizard. It might be someone else though. It's not on screen.
That's true.
It could be his cat, because his cat is black.
Oh my god, you're right.
Anyway,
Figured it out. It's all the perspective from the black cat, everybody.
I mean that would be funny. I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled that.
I mean, it could be that.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, we're not saying it's not, because it could most definitely be from the perspective of his cat.
Because like the only one that we know for a fact is associated with the color black is the wizard, but we already know what the wizard's like border looks like, and it's not this.
Yeah, it's
So-
like a reddish-ish.
yeah, it's like
a dark reddish.
Yeah, kind of like the color of his hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This border is completely new.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Watch it be like Arisu's border.
結ばれなきゃ殺されるなんて物騒すぎっす。強制じゃねえっすか。
They shouldn't have to hook up under the threat of death. Where's the consent, man?
True.
犯人は焦って
Perhaps
る
our
のかも
culprit is
よ
running out of patience. Looks at the wizard.
何に
How come?
アリス嬢が
Because
誰
Lady
かとハッピー
Artisu
エンドを
has yet to reach a
迎えられ
happy
ない
ending
こと
with someone.
Oh?
Squints eyes at the wizard.
わけわかんね
Huh?
え。なんで脅
That
迫
makes
状
no
を送るやつ
sense.
がアリスちゃん
Why
の
would the
ハッピーエンド
blackmailer
を
want
願ってる
Ali's
ん
Sue
だ
to get hitched?
Yeah, wizard.
それを僕に調べろってこと
That's
でし
what you
ょ
want me to find out, correct?
そういうこと
Precisely.
ちなみに
Incidentally,
それって
who's my
誰の依頼
client? You?
両親
Roshi?
Who do I charge the money to?
Ugh,
俺がお前に頼ると
you
思う
think I'd hire you?
Watch it beat Reikyu hiring wizard.
Honestly, I wouldn't put that out of the realm of possibilities.
I wasn't either. I was just saying that's a possibility.
It could be Wolf. That would be kind of funny.
Wolf, I don't know. Wolf would have to do it, but it's like, oh, do it so she gets together with me. You know?
Maybe. Maybe that's for heads or tails during his route.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. Just do the entirety of the wizard's route, but with Wolf as the client instead.
No, probably not.
これは他ならぬ
Her client is none
鏡の
other than
国
the
のお姫
princess
様
herself.
本人の依頼だ
Yeah,
Let's
okay.
fucking go. Honestly, it just made the most sense in this situation.
Fair.
へえ
Oh, interesting. She wants to hire
アリ
me?
ス嬢が
What
僕
is she thinking?
I'll give you a quick
彼女
question.
は
I'll give you a quick
何を考えてるん
answer.
だろう
She's not.
So true.
さあな
Beats me.
あいつの
If
考
I
え
knew
が
how
分
her
かった
mind
ら
worked,
苦労
it could
はし
save
ない
us a lot of hassle.
True huntsman.
あいつはまともじ
She's
ゃ
not
な
a
いから
normal
な
person. Trust me.
Well, yeah, she's a
自分の妹なの。
princess.
But she's your sister.
妹だから言うんだ
That's how I
よ
know.
で
So,
5人の兄弟
what's the
とアリス
relationship
嬢
between
の
her
関
and
係
these
は
five brothers?
あいつのことは
Non-existence.
知ってるんじゃないのか
I thought you were supposed to know all about Reikyu Arisu.
知っているけど
I do,
あえて
but I
聞い
want
て
to
るん
hear
だ
it
よ
from you.
ほら
Just double
確
checking
認
I
って
have
い
my
うか
facts
さ
straight, if that makes sense.
長男のシンデレラ
Cinderella, the oldest.
次男の
Snow
白
White,
雪
the second son.
三男
Red
の
Riding
赤
Hood,
月
the third son.
そして
Kaguya, the fourth
四男
son.
のかぐや
Girdle, the fifth
五
son.
男のグレー
All
ト
of them looking glass celebrities.
鏡の国では知
They're
ら
in
ぬ
a
者
boy
はいない
band?
ってほど有
Maybe.
名な兄弟だ
I thought Red Riding Hood was older than Snow, though. Maybe I misremembered that information.
No, because in Snow's route, it was Cinderella, Red, Kaguya, Gretel.
Yeah, because Snow wasn't one of the brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're still sorted by age here.
Yeah, they're still sorted by age.
Yeah, I thought Red was older than Snow. That's what I was saying.
Oh, that is interesting.
Let me double check their ages, because I could have just misremembered.
I feel like no. Now that I think about it, I think Snow is older than Red, because Red still gets flustered at like the tiniest little thing that Reikyu does,
Yeah,
even
but
when it's to someone else.
Red is 21.
And then Snow, drumroll.
Snow is 18 in the JP version,
The fuck?
and Ian 20, so...
Maybe they're all adopted, and it's just the order that they adopted them in.
That could be, because, like, in, Cinderella's
do we-
route, like...
Yeah.
It was Cinderella, Snow White, and Gretel that were siblings.
Yeah. But also, like, do we think that many diversely looking different characters came from two people? I don't think so. I think a majority of them are adopted. Maybe one or two are blood related, but like
I'm pretty sure Gretel's
No.
been consistently adopted for all of them.
oh yeah. So Gretel's definitely adopted. Kaguya is more of an outsider, so I'd say he's adopted. I could also see Red being adopted. I think Cinderella might be the only like blood relative, and maybe Snow, because Snow made a very big point of like he doesn't look like his mother.
Yeah.
That's also but then we find out that he was adopted in his root. So it's like
It was never
I
stated
think
to
all
be
of them are adopted. I think it's easy just a blanket statement. They all were adopted.
Maybe.
It's the same family.
We'll see.
Yeah.
彼らは現在
Currently,
Alice.
they live with my sister at my
俺の
parents'
実
house,
家で
the
妹
Arisu
と一緒に
estate.
暮らしている
Five
Convenient.
guys and one girl under the same roof? Man, somebody pull up the couch meme.
Oh boy.
逆
No, reverse harem. Wizard.
Nah, it's still just a
めっ
harem.
ちゃ卑猥っす
What a sausage fest!
心配じゃないのお兄ちゃん
Wolf just upset that he wasn't invited. Let's be real here.
True. Aren't you worried, big brother?
別に
Not really.
Not really. We have our own side games.
Soon today.
ツンデレっすね
The biggest tsundere ever.
Yeah, I saw that coming. Ouch.
And then backhand Wolf.
Yep.
Yeah.
一緒に暮らしている
I'm
のは
not
全員
worried, because she's
I
engaged to
think
every single
connection.
one of them. Polyamory, let's go.
That's the real answer to this route. Polyamory, and we also bring in wizard. I mean, what? That's the true ending to all of these romance games. Just marry every single one of them.
No boy.
We figured out the problem, Saku, and we figured out the solution. All right, this seems like Reikio. I had that same dream again.
My name is Reikio Arasu, and I'm 19 years old. I live in a mansion with my 5 handsome fiancés. In the permanent honeymoon phase. Cinderella, the oldest. Snow White, the second son.
It doesn't say second oldest, just says second son.
Yeah, but they always, like, when they do this, it's like in order of age, so it'd
Normally.
be weird for it to not.
Taisho Exalis has proven to be one thing. The details matter.
Mhm.
Not in the way that you think that they matter.
True.
Red Riding Hood, the third son.
I have a theory, but it's related to what I know that you don't, so I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
The curse of knowledge catching up with you.
Kaguya, the fourth son. And this fucker.
Sure.
I first met them about a year and a half ago.
At the time I was living in another country, I only knew of them through my brother's letters. Eh? My brother worked as a hunter in a small rural town. I had visited several times previously. The 5 brothers were his patients. Please tell me he's a psychologist and that Gretel is still receiving therapy.
I mean, do you remember what Hunter stood for?
Yeah, it's like, something about terminal I don't remember the exact acronym. But I do know it was like something to do with like the brain.
Healing undiagnosed or neurological trauma. Yeah.
Cool. I remember wanting to run out and meet them straight away. But we were divided by a vast ocean, so it wasn't that simple. So I started pen-paling all of them.
No boy.
Evidently, after persuading a lot of people and filing a lot of paperwork, I finally made it to that town from my past. When I first met them, I didn't know how to feel about it. I was both happy and sad at the same time.
Why did there have to be 5 hot ones? I was happy to have met them, but it was also sad to have met them. You see, once upon a time, I had a crush.
Just one.
His name was Wolf. A crush on a boy I had just met once when I was little.
Oh, and does she think that they're one of the boy?
But he was a light in the darkness, and he helped me find myself.
I think this is Alice.
Yeah, I think the boy that she met was Alice, 100%.
So when I met the 5 brothers, I knew. They were probably lost in the darkness just as I had been. The brothers were really down on their luck. They had 5 separate incomes, and tax season was upon them.
No boy.
So I talked my family and begged them to help. Fortunately, my parents were sympathetic to the brothers' plight. As it turned out, they have already taken measures of their own accord.
Specifically, adoption paperwork.
That just complicates things.
Yeah, it does. I mean, if they want legal guardianship over like some of them like Gretel, they would have to go through this route.
Yeah, but
Gretel's a little bit. Yeah, but like Cinderella, nah, you don't need paperwork for Cinderella. You just have them sign some paperwork saying, "Hey, I leave all my legal decisions to blah blah blah." You know.
But the thing is, they're all engaged.
And they're all her adopted brothers.
Yeah, that's weird.
How did this happen?
Why did they do this?
What legal fraud-based scheme are they running here? Like, what the fuck?
Like, I know sometimes people will, like, just have their parents, like, adopt their significant other to, like, get around, like, marriage laws when they can't do it, type of thing.
Yeah.
And this could be an excuse for that, but
Or
I
to,
don't
like-
think it is.
Or to, like, get them out of a bad situation with the other side of the family, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, like, this is weird.
But, like, it makes the letters request impossible, because, like, if they're all adopted, like, I don't think she could legally marry any of them.
Depends on the laws of the land.
I guess she's
we're
the
still-
princess, they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, she's the princess. All she has to do is write a new law and be like,
Pass it through.
Can marry as many men as you want at once.
And if they're my brothers.
Oh dear, I hate it here.
My father asked me if I wanted to bring them into our family. Since I would be living in the same house as the 5 brothers, he wanted to give me a chance to decline. And I said, I decline. I want to marry one of them.
and so we brought them all in as my fiancés
Oh boy.
while I figure my shit out.
At this, I was slightly disappointed. Surely he wouldn't expect me to decline after coming all the way here. It would make sense if he had given me the final say.
Consent's important, Riku.
Yet the words he used were the chance to decline. In other words, he wasn't fully on board with the idea himself.
I mean, it's kind of a lot to adopt 5 people at once.
Yeah, and some of them are like grown-ass adults too.
Yeah.
If I showed him the even tiniest hint of hesitation, he would change his mind and shut the door in their faces. Of course, I didn't resent my parents for this.
Oh, I see. So she's like, oh yeah, you can't kick them out. They're all potentially my future husband. So I think she's just manipulating everybody.
Maybe.
It was by their graces alone that we were even having this conversation to begin with. Okay, so like the parents are like, hey, we're doing this, but we'll give you the chance to say no to this.
Mm-hmm.
But it was that I understood. Only I could save them.
Oh great, here we go, savior complex.
So I looked my father in the eye with steadfast determination. I'm fine with it. First, we proposed our ideas to the eldest son,
the eldest son, Cinderella.
There you go.
But Cinderella refused.
Makes sense.
My father and I didn't understand why.
This is an adult.
Admittedly, perhaps it was unreasonable to expect them to agree to join our family when they barely knew us.
Okay, but Cinderella's an adult.
Yes. They weren't children after all. Thank you! They were grown adults with their own agency. That's what we've been saying! That being said, however, they weren't strong enough to live on their own.
Huh?
Internally, I started to panic. I only just met the brothers, but at this rate, I'd be torn apart from them. Right around then, my brother finally spoke up for the first time, suggesting the brothers look after me as my fiancés.
I see.
Okay, so Ryoshi proposed this idea.
I see. Roshi was like, how about polyamory?
Yeah, how about we be super progressive and everybody gets super cool with a lot of things real quick?
I mean, it's a lot better than them being adoptive brothers, because I feel like that's just complicated.
Yeah, exactly. I was utterly thrown for a loop. Now I have 5 fiancés. My brother and I had lived apart ever since I was young, so he didn't feel much like family. He didn't seem comfortable around me either, so I never imagined he would try to help me.
I mean, you want to take care of his patients, so it makes sense in this case.
Yeah. Later I would learn that he was trying to help the brothers, not me. Yeah. Watch Ryoshi be the one that sent the letter in the first place.
Maybe.
Apparently he was closely acquainted with Snow White, who wasn't present at the time. Interesting. And since Cinderella already trusted my brother a great deal, he agreed to the proposal.
We haven't seen Cinderella and Roshi interact like at all yet.
Yeah. This will be interesting then.
Yeah.
And so my 5 fiancés and I started our new life together in a mansion my parents owned.
A mansion. I guess just
A
princess,
mansion.
but sheesh.
One of multiple mansions. We lived happily ever after. One of the other mansions got taken over by ghosts and a plumber had to go exorcise them.
Maybe.
If only that were actually the case. While we were now engaged, we still didn't know each other very well. And in the beginning, things were tense. I had heard a lot of them from my brother, but when I actually met them in person, they were nothing like what I expected. Yep. Their ages, hobbies, and interests all varied wildly. And now I was expected to share my home with them, so it was kind of a lot. Obviously, I liked them all very much, but I wasn't in love with them. However, if I was going to live with them, then I wanted us all to get along, so I actively reached out to them. She just like holds out her hand. Give me 5. I adapted myself to their interests and preferences. Also, they would like me. And I took steps to ensure that they would feel comfortable. I wanted to be the one person who understood them the most. Okay, tragic hero, you're gonna, if she's in the save me, I can save him phase. I want blah blah blah. And for their part, they appeared to like me too. A girl that's paying interest to us? Once I was comfortable in my new home in the countryside, it was time to start thinking about college. Kulik. Naturally, there weren't a ton of options out here, so I defaulted to the nearest one.
Fair.
Ideally, I would like all 6 of us to attend the same school, but we weren't on the same level, GPA-wise.
Who has the lowest GPA? I'm curious. I want to say Red.
No, I feel like Red would have really good PE scores.
But that's just one out of multiple classes. That wouldn't give a good GPA.
Honestly, I want to say Gretel, but that's because I've been hating on Gretel.
Yeah,
all
I mean,
episode.
during Gretel's route, I'm pretty sure he was pretty good with school
Oh no,
stuff.
he was. Yeah, he was college level, wasn't he?
Yeah. I feel like it's between Red
Cinderella
and
and
Kaguya.
Red.
No, I'd say Cinderella's pretty average.
Yeah, I can see it. He's also the oldest, so he probably has like the most like general knowledge.
Yeah. So I feel like it's between Kaguya and Red who's like the lowest.
Honestly, I'm gonna say Red.
Yeah, that was my initial thought.
Because like Kaguya's kind of a womanizer. Like he strikes me as someone who's not very interested in school, but probably does well in school.
Yeah, like just gets by because he's good at testing type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's good at memorizing, putting it down on the piece of paper, and then forgetting about it, so he can get on with the more important things in his life.
Me at school for over.
Same.
Oh my.
Put it in, write it down, shove it out. At first, I was blah blah blah. At first, I wasn't looking forward to college, but once I got settled in, it turned out to be pretty fun. And that's where I met my good friend Wolf. Wolf was the kind of guy who knew when to stand back and let someone else have the spotlight, because he is a beta.
Yep.
If this were a work of fiction, he'd be the protagonist's supportive best friend.
Yep.
That checks. When I told him about my current situation, Wolf carefully positioned himself so he would be able to step in and help me whenever I needed it. And I'm just using this fuck. It was around then that Gretel started calling me sister out of respect. Gross.
I mean, looking at Japanese, I can see that kind of happening because
Like Ane-san?
yeah, because
Yeah.
that means someone's sister, not necessarily yours. So if Gretel's
Yeah.
saying like "One-san," that could be just being respectful.
Yeah,
But at the same time, your fiance, Gretel.
Yeah, you should not be calling your fiance sister anything. Unless she's a nun.
Yeah.
That's just pure respect. My brother wasn't comfortable with it, but I didn't mind at all. Because you're a doormat and you're letting these guys control what you are,
Yeah.
Reikyu.
Oh, Reikyu.
Initially, my parents were worried about us all living together, but they quickly saw there was nothing to fear. The youngest one is calling your daughter sister as her fiance. Before long, they had to leave town on a business trip. Cool. Excellent. They weren't eager to leave their only daughter behind, but they knew my brother was around. Besides, they had important jobs to do, like sit around and make money. Sorry, they're doctors, aren't they? While I was willing to drop everything for the sake of someone I cared about, they were not. And that's how I ended up living with my 5 fiancés in a mansion in the middle of nowhere. So pick one. I had everything I needed, except my own sense of self. I was a healthy, active person, and I was good at household chores. You know, looking after 5 fiancés, you have to get really good at the chores.
No boy.
Sure, some people might think it immoral for a young woman to share a roof with a bunch of young men, but our engagement was formally approved by my parents.
Yeah.
As far as I was concerned, no one had the right to judge me. Judge, throw the book at her. I was happy. As long as we don't get Gretel being super weird.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, I guess. Arisu.
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 ミスアリス。
Miss Arisu.
Damn, Red showing the extra respect.
Pop it.
姉さん
I mean, he did say One-san, so
I think he just said Nei-san, which, like, when you drop the O, does make it yours.
roll the clip. Roll the clip.
姉さん
Yeah, just Nei-san.
Oh, he does say Nei-san. Damn.
Sister. The more time we spent together, the more I grew to love them. Not out of pity or charity. I genuinely fell for them, each and every single one of them, in their own Delulu fantasy. In fact, I was willing to die for them. Maybe that was merely an emotional exaggeration. No, it's not, but okay.
Yeah.
But my passion was white hot, burning me from the inside out.
Like being stabbed.
In the lake. In the moonlight.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of the woods.
Yep.
In the middle of winter.
I was so sure I knew everything about them. But that was my hubris. While they looked stable at first, they were all carrying deep emotional scars that could detonate at the slightest touch.
Looking at you, Gretel.
But even then, maybe time, if there was enough of it, could have healed those wounds.
Instead, I'm gonna make everything worse.
Unfortunately, time was the only thing they didn't have.
No.
One body, one soul. My love could not be divided.
This is
Skill
how
issue.
cults start. I was gonna say this is how cults start. Skill issue indeed.
And so, I would have to choose.
Polyamory's okay, Reikyu.
Yeah, polyamory is fine as long as everybody is in on it.
Yeah, like you're already practicing that, like come on.
And more importantly, if you want to find out ways to split your soul, go talk to the wizards.
Oh boy. What if Reikyu sent the letter to herself to make herself have to choose?
Nah, like she's devious, but she's not that devious.
I don't know, man.
More importantly, do you think that she'd be freaking out if she sent a letter to herself?
私立探偵ですか
Acting.
I mean, yeah.
A private detective? Yeah. There we were, in the living room of the Arisu estate, having a heated argument. How did this happen, you ask? Well, it all started when I received a certain letter in the mail this morning. The envelope bore only my name, no return address, and when I opened it, I found a letter that read something like, "Choose one of the 5 brothers to be your future husband by the next full moon, or I'll kill you," spelled out in cut-out letters. Alas, I was hoping it would be a love letter.
I mean, kind of is.
It kind of is, but also at the same time, what the fuck, girl? You already have 5 fiancés. You don't want to add a 6th one into this.
Unless.
Unless, wizard.
If this person is serious, then they're gonna try and murder me on the next full moon.
They're all just
And they'll have to get through...
You first.
No, you first.
I mean, you were gonna add to your. Oops, I didn't mean to click.
Okay.
You were gonna add to what you were gonna say, though. Mine is just a side comment.
Okay. Now I forgot what I was going to say. 1 second.
Oh no.
Can I see the line again?
Yeah, I accidentally. Ugh.
Oh, okay. I remember.
If this person is serious, then they're gonna try and murder me on the next full moon. And they have the confidence to fight through 5 guys.
Okay, and then what I was gonna say is that they're all packed like sardines on the screen.
Look, I'm just saying that 5 guys and Reikyu in the middle of the couch meme looking a lot more possible now with this how this is laid out.
Yeah.
What if she did send a letter to herself, but she doesn't know yet because it was sent from the future?
One of the wizard's cats sent it.
So I'm gonna have a detective track down the culprit. I explained myself in a calm voice.
I get that, but why rely on some skis ball? Come on.
Cause that way we get tickets for Chuck E. Cheese. Well, despite my best intentions, everyone else seemed to see it as a bad move. Apparently they had an innate distrust of detectives.
I think it's specific to the wizard.
Probably. No surprise there, I suppose. He does wear a funny outfit from time to time. My brothers were all very private people to some extent or another. Oh yeah, the deep emotional trauma. He thinks that they think that the detective's gonna go and just like poke into all their personal business.
Maybe. Cinderella's right. As a police officer, I believe I have the situation under control. I shall protect you myself.
Bro, you tried in one route and failed.
Why does he keep pretending to be a cop? Red, it's okay.
No, I think he is actually a cop this time.
But
he
he never has been in any route ever, so why is he magically gonna be one this time?
Because the brothers need to make money. Even if they weren't making enough to get by, they were at least making enough to get a little bit of food.
He's just a puppy.
I know, he just puppy. Bark, 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 bark. Even Red Riding Hood was opposed to the idea.
But Red,
Starting today, I shall place you under 24-hour surveillance.
not fair! We have the time chart for a reason!
He informed me with a perfectly straight face. Sorry, I had to do that because I felt like Gretel would pipe in there.
Fair.
He tilts his head like he honestly didn't know why the whole room had gone silent.
24-hour surveillance? Really? Even when I go to the bathroom?
それって
So, you're gonna spy on her while she does you know what?
どこまで監視するってこと
Yeah, let's go! Snow called him out.
変態
Perv. Snow White and Gretel shot him withering looks while Kuya smiled stiffly.
Kuya.
Kuguya! And a lot of mucus in my throat. It's causing some issues with speaking.
No, of course not.
Imagine getting called a perv by fucking Gretel. You are right, Spooky.
So true.
If anybody doesn't know what's going on, go rewatch episode 2, Gretel's Root. Because goddamn. Blushing, Red shook his head and waved his hand in front of his face.
Well, considering Red's not exactly Officer of the Year, I guess I can see why you turned to an outside source for help.
I told you, he actually is a cop.
Oh, maybe this is why we both were like, he has the worst GPA because he's a cop. But why a private eye of all things? Doesn't that just scream fishy to you? No, it screams wizard.
Yeah, it screams detective prodigy who couldn't make it in society and might have antisocial behaviors. Cinderella slammed his hands on the table.
I don't think we can make such sweeping generalizations about an entire field.
I don't know, sometimes you can.
Sometimes. Once again, I offered my rebuttal calmly. You know what's really happening here? Reiki's like,
Okay guys, we're getting a new babysitter.
and then everybody's like, no, fuck that shit.
I mean, low-key.
I knew they like to keep to themselves, but it wasn't right to make such harsh assumptions about someone they never even met.
Here's gonna be the real kicker. The 5 brothers sent the letter together. As like a way to say like, hey, we've been through this long enough. Choose someone.
Yeah. Not everyone's on board for the polyamory, I guess.
Yeah. I don't think PIs are inherently a terrible idea, but getting a PI for a threat of life is certainly a choice.
But what if
That
the
is true,
PI
Sticky.
is a wizard? That's all.
Look, if someone's starting my life, I'm going to a cop. You know, someone that can actually do consequences to this person.
Oh yeah, because cops are known for doing things, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. I'm just saying, cop would be the first choice. Private eye would be the second one when the cop's like, well, we can't do anything until you're actually murdered. And it's like, well, fuck you too, buddy.
That's exactly what the police would say.
Exactly. That's when you go to the private eye. And at least cops are free.
Okay, you read this, right?
Yeah. Besides, they didn't have a say in this. I've already sent my brother to visit an agency on my behalf. At this stage, there was no going back. After all, the detective was already on his way here as we spoke.
All he has to do is snap his fingers and is there. Like, come on.
Yeah, he just like appears right behind her right now. Oh, you picked the wrong choice! Oh wait, we haven't made a choice yet.
Well, I don't think there's any harm in hiring a professional third party. Thank you, Snow.
Thank you. After a moment, Snow White reluctantly backed me up. Snow being the voice of reason yet again.
Yep. Why is that? Okay, Red. Because if this blackmail's legit, chances are high that one of us sent it. It's Gretel!
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
Like if it's...
But I feel like he would have excluded everybody else's name.
Maybe. You got me there.
I feel like Gretel's the one that would make that impulse rash decision to be like, hey, marry Gretel or I'll kill you.
Yeah.
And then the private eye would be like, well, this is easy. It's Gretel. It backed me up right over a cliff by the looks of it. I suppose that does make the most sense.
Yeah, okay, definitely not Gretel.
Yeah. Then Gretel and Kaguya piped up at last, fixing me with accusatory looks. Everyone was ganging up on me. I was starting to feel the pressure. Perhaps Snow White sensed this, because he fanned the flames even harder. Oh, here we go. Come on, Snow.
Anyone who sends a blackmail letter has to have a motive.
True.
What if they just want to kill Reikyu and wanted a good excuse?
I mean, but it's like, if they wanted to kill Reikyu, they'd be like, hey, next full moon, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, but like if they're an unrelated party, like bringing up the brothers puts the blame on them even more. You know? So it'd be like a good way to deter. Even something as simple as money. True. There must be something in it for them, or else they won't bother. The letter you received is committing you to choose one of us, once and for all.
It's final, no takesy backsies.
So if you think about who would stand to gain from that, well, it's us.
It's actually Ryoshi.
Because we're all in love with you. Pet Snow.
Aw, at least he's smiling more.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him, he got some therapy.
That's why you've chosen to seek help from an unaffiliated third party, correct?
Well... I faltered. The room was so rowdy just moments before, but now you could practically hear a pin drop. Snow White had sown the seeds of suspicions in the mind of every single person here. Because Snow's great. An eternity seemed to pass as the suffocating fog of paranoia hung over us. It would be kind of obvious if it was one of the brothers. I'm kind of thinking third party here.
Like Wolf.
Either Wolf. Well, Wolf would have a motive because then he wouldn't have to like keep up the fucking charades anymore of like helping. And he'd be like, "Oh, you finally picked a husband. Great. I don't have to help you with the other guys anymore." You know?
Yeah. I mostly
Then the
stress
door-
him because it's like in the shape of a wolf, though.
Yeah, that's true. Then the doorbell rang, breaking the silence at last. I mean, when you place the letters in the shape of a wolf, you're basically signing your own name there, and it, like,
Yeah.
goddamn Wolf. And Wolf would have a lot of time on his hands, goddamn.
Oh,
誰か
Sounds like
来たみたい
someone's
ですね
here. Good job, Red.
that's just the pizza delivery guy. I'll get it.
Oh, it's because Red is puppy, so he's barking at the door. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. Red rose from his chair. Bark, 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 bark.
I'll get it.
I stopped him and hurried out of the living room. After all, it would be rude to keep our visitor waiting. And Red would just tell him, "Go away," and then close the door in his face. But then again, maybe I just want an excuse to get out of there as fast as possible.
Valid.
Valid.
すみません
Hello, Lady
アリスさん
Arisu.
いらっしゃ
Are
いま
you
す
there?
か
No.
It could be another red herring, but I wouldn't put it past Wolf to be stupid enough to not see how that would be the case. Yeah, exactly. Wolf is kind of stupid. A visitor called for me in a crisp voice that cut through the evening air.
Who is it?
Obviously, there could only be one person who would visit me at a time like this. An axe murderer. But it never hurts to double check. Exactly, in case it's the axe murderer in the local area. Who knows? Maybe it's the culprit here to stab me the moment I open the door. Say girly
あ
thinking
な
with
た
her
のお
brain.
兄様よりご依頼をいただきまし
I'm
た
from Black Cat
黒猫探偵
Investigations.
事務所
Your
の者
brother
で
asked
す
me to meet with you.
Watch him be in wizard attire.
That'd be funny.
I unlocked the front door and opened it.
Come on in.
どうも
Thank you kindly.
Bark, 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 bark. On the other side was a man in a suit. He inclined his head politely. His reddish-brown hair and amber eyes afforded him a gentle air that put me at ease.
Oh no, I'm falling for him.
Somehow I just knew it was safe to trust him.
I've been waiting for you, detective. My name is Reikyu Arasu.
これはこれは
My,
ご
thank you for
丁
the
寧なご挨
polite
拶をどう
introduction,
も
my lovely
美
lady.
しいお嬢さ
I'm
ん
known as the wizard.
僕は魔法
Because he has no first name.
Yep.
He reached out for a handshake. He was too poor, so he had to sell his first name.
The wizard?
Puzzled, I attentively clasped his hand in return.
変わった名
The
前
funny
でしょ
name, isn't it?
よく言
I
われ
get
ま
that a
す
lot.
My parents were Mr. and Mrs. Wizard. That's not a name at all. It's just a job title, and it's the wrong job title. Black Cat Investigations. Oh god, oh fuck, he's working for Felicia Hardy. I don't understand that reference, but I'm assuming that you would.
Oh, I don't get it either. That's why I didn't read it.
But I kept this cat equipped to myself. Wait, is that Catwoman?
Maybe.
Maybe. If he wanted to introduce himself as the wizard, that was his prerogative. Black Cat from Marvel Comics. Ah,
Close enough.
I was completely off.
You were close. Kind of.
No, Black Cat and Catwoman are completely different.
Same character, different font.
Same aesthetic, but two distinctly different characters.
I'll be honest, I never paid enough attention to either of them, so...
Yeah. They're kind of interchangeable, but that's just design-wise.
早速ですが、ご依頼の件、
Wait, you read that on the plan,
詳し
right?
くお話を聞かせていただきた
Okay,
いの
just
です
wanted to
が
make sure. Nothing. I'd like to hear more about this potential case.
Of course. Follow me, Mr. Wizard.
They just kind of like scooch him in on the edge there, and everybody just kind of like shuffles over or just like eyes him.
That would be funny.
I let him into the living room. Instantly, the five brothers all turned to look at us.
Say hello to fiance number 6.
None of them looked very happy to see our visitor. Some less so than others. Gretel.
これはこれは
Well, well. Not exactly a
全く
warm
歓迎
welcome,
さ
I
れてない
see.
ようですね
The wizard smiled awkwardly.
Please, have a seat.
I led him to the sofa, then turned in the direction of the kitchen, but before I could move a muscle...
姉さん、お茶の準備は僕が。
Sister, I can make the tea.
Gretel rose to his feet.
Oh.
Dude is gonna poison his drink.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't put poison in the tea, Gretel.
Not this time, please. He eyed the wizard next to me with deep suspicion.
君がグレー
You're
テル
Gretel, yes.
5
I
人
heir
兄
you're
弟
the
の末っ
youngest
子
son.
で
I mean, you've
アリ
lived
ス
with
さんとは
Ricky
生ま
I'd
れた
see
時
your
から
whole
共に
life.
暮らしているそう
Straight A college student, right?
学業も大層立派
See,
な成
this
績だ
part,
そうですね
unfortunately.
How young were they adopted into this family? God damn.
I mean, like Ricky said, they only know each other for like 1 to 2 years-ish, so...
But like, with Reiki Arasu your whole life? Damn.
Oh yeah, huh. Maybe the wizard has wrong information or is just testing?
He might be testing.
Yeah.
Let's see. The wizard seems to know a lot about Gretel. He must have done a background check of some kind.
Weird.
よくご存知で。
Clearly you did your homework.
Still weird.
いえいえ
Oh
基本
no,
的
this
な
is all
情報
basic
ですから。
information. I thought it'd
これくらい
save
は
us
事
all
前
some
に調
time
べて
by
おか
doing
ない
a
と
little independent
ことは
research
ス
in
ムーズに進み
advance.
ませんからね
Let's see. Thief on and off again. Love interest of the MC. Gray but strong moral code. Nails modified to be claws. Sometimes as a whip. The main difference is that Black Cat is almost always a white lady with white hair, and Catwoman is more frequently a woman of color with black hair. Ah, see? Told you. 2 distinct characters.
Like I said, same character, different font.
I mean, that's most stories in general, so
I
we're not
know.
going to get into that.
No one's disputing the fact that Wizard said that, like, Gretel's been with Reiki all his life, though, and that's interesting.
That's weird. They adopted him when he was a baby.
But that's not true, and we know that because Reiki stated that she's only known them for, like, a year or so.
Yeah, because, like, it'd be so weird if it's like, hey, child, here's your 5 fiancés,
Mhm.
and we're gonna have you live with them for, like, years and years on end.
Like, I do have a theory, but why that is stated, but it has to do with the information I already know for a fact, so... But I will say,
Sucker.
it does make sense with that information, why it's not being disputed right now, kind of.
Yeah.
The main issue is that means that Reiki knows, and I don't think Reiki knows.
Yeah, I think it's the fact that they're just using information that they got from each individual stories.
Yes, but no?
Yes, but no. Then let's keep moving.
そうですか。
Gee, thanks.
With that, Gretel walked off into the kitchen as if to suggest he couldn't possibly care less. Once he was gone, the wizard plunked himself down in a newly vacated chair. Still warm.
さて
Now
お
then,
話をお
why
聞か
don't
せ
we
願
all
い
have
ま
a
すか
chat?
As he spoke, he held up the blackmail letter that had set off this entire chain of events.
Right.
I sat on the sofa and looked at the table. There were now 2 identical letters lying there.
2. Oh.
One was the real blackmail letter, and the other was a copy I'd given my brother. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
As you're all aware, I found this letter in our mailbox just this very morning.
ええ
Right.
拝見させて
I
いた
took
だ
a
きま
look
した
at it myself.
随
Quite
分
the
と変
unusual
わった 脅
blackmail,
迫状
don't
で
you
すね
think?
Oh, it's fine. I had extra letters from the first one, so I just made the second one.
Single phrase for meta narrative google.com.
Yeah.
ちなみに
Do you have any
あなたが
idea
脅迫
who
状の
might have
送り
sent
主
it?
に心当たりは
Well, there's always Gretel. I paused to think for a moment, but ultimately shook my head. No.
他の皆さんは
Anyone else have any ideas?
Snow.
知らねえよ。
No, we don't.
Cinderella spoke as if on behalf of his brothers.
うん
I
そう
see.
ですか
The wizard crossed his legs and folded his arms. He carried himself like a confident man.
Mr. Wizard, I'd like you to find out who sent this to me.
もちろん
But of course,
僕はその
that's
ため
why
に
I'm
呼ばれ
here,
たので
is
す
it
か
not?
No, you're here because I paid you.
He smiled brightly.
しかし
That
あな
said,
たがよく
were you
知
to
る
make
5人
things
のうち
official
の
with
1人
one
と
of the
結ばれ
5
れば
brothers, it appears the
命
crisis
の
would be
危機からは
entirely
脱すること
averted.
ができる
Reiki on the sofa, fingers in her ears. La 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 la.
こんな脅迫状を送りつ
What
けて
exactly is the culprit
犯人
after?
は一
I
体何
wonder.
がしたいんでしょうね
Monogamy, obviously.
His smile didn't waver, but his gaze wandered probingly. Cinderella seemed to sense this because he let out a long sigh.
やっぱり
Let me guess.
俺
You
たち
think
が
it's one
怪
of
し
us,
いと
right?
踏んでるわけだな。
To be fair, most obvious.
Yeah.
My heart ached as though the crime was my own, because it is.
I wouldn't be surprised because that's happened before.
Yeah, that's happened before. After all, I was the one who summoned a detective to investigate them. I feel like she sent the letter to herself so that way she could have a private eye look into each of the brothers specifically and then report back to her with his findings.
Maybe.
これはこれは
Well,
So,
no.
長男のシンデレ
so
ラ
she
さ
could
ん
figure out if there's any
や
sus
っ
shit
ぱ
going
りと
on.
いうことはどういうことですか
Well, no. If
僕
it
は別
isn't the
に
eldest son,
君たちの中に
Cinderella,
犯人がいる
why
だなん
would
て
you
言ってな
accuse
い
me
で
of
すよ
such a thing? I never said one word to that effect.
それとも
Or, do you have
脅
someone
迫状
in
の送り
particular
主
in
に
mind,
心当たり
perhaps?
が
Gretel.
He looks so angry, but I just want to pat him.
He does. At this, Cinderella fell silent, so he does have someone in mind. He's just mad that he's like, I can't believe you're fingering one of my brothers, or trying to make me finger one of my brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Not for lack of anything to say, however, this was purposeful silence. He pleaded the fifth. But the wizard simply ignored him and carried on.
三男の赤
Would you
ずきんさん
happen to
は
be Red
あなた
Riding
です
Hood,
か
the third son?
What gave it away?
That should have been that funny. Yes.
警察の方
I
だそう
understand
で
you're
す
a
が
police officer.
そん
If
な
you're
素晴ら
here,
しい
then
職
why
に
would
ついている
anyone
方
need
が
to
道
resort
に
to
い
a
るのです
private
から
detective?
僕みたい
See,
な
he's
知らない
actually a
探偵
police
を頼ら
officer.
な
He
くてもよ
finally
かったのに
graduated the officer school.
それに関しては
I saw
Now we
this.
can hate him
私も彼女にそう言いました
properly.
He's a canine unit, it's okay.
True, though.
I said the same thing myself, but
彼女は探偵である
your
僕を
fiance
頼
turned
り
to me
にした
instead, suggesting she
つまり
can't trust the
彼
cops,
女は警察は
perhaps?
信用
I
できな
mean,
いと思
a
っているわけ
cab,
で
so
すね
sorry,
Bark,
Red.
bark, 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 bark. Look, you can marry cops. You just still have to hate them.
True.
After Red Riding Hood fell silent, the wizard turned the spotlight on Kaguya besides him. Kaguya's just like chilling.
Yeah.
Just like, oh man, they're all getting roasted. This is great.
あなたが四男のかぐやさん。
Which would make you Kaguya, the fourth son. I see now that the rumors were true. You have quite the unusual fashion sense.
Yeah, kimono all day, every day.
そう見えますかね。
You think so? After seeing how the previous two conversations went, Kaguya was unsurprisingly on guard.
いえ、
Not suggesting it looks bad, of course. Oops.
せやな。
Is that your everyday attire?
Yeah? Kaguya looked confused by the question.
うん。
I see. So if you were to wear something more commonplace, you could avoid drawing attention to yourself.
Wow. Just straight up saying, hey, if you went down in plain clothes, you could have just walked up to the mailbox and nobody would have recognized you. What appeared at first glance to be a mere curveball had now struck Kaguya square in the face.
何？なんそれってつまり
What?
僕を疑ってるってことな？
What's that supposed to mean? You reckon I did it then? Kaguya's usual laid-back veneer was threatening to slip.
いえいえ。
No, no. This is all
例えばの話
purely
です。
hypothetical,
例えば
of
の。
course.
He is trying to
そんな例え
rile the,
話今するこ
rumble
と
their
な？
feathers, though.
Yep.
See if anybody will, like, just blurt out something stupid.
Kind of like when lawyers ask stupid questions in court.
Exactly. It's like, why are you asking me this? Fuck off. It's like, well, because it riles your feathers. And when you're riled up, you're gonna say dumb shit.
Yep.
What's there to hypothesize about? But the wizard gracefully ignored his retort.
ああ、それで、君が
Ah,
次男
and you
の
must
白
be
雪
the
さん
second
かな？
son. Snow White.
これは
You're
また
very
随
pretty
分とお綺
indeed.
麗な
Watch it, you're playing with fire. Snow just immediately. Just like laser beams him. Specifically, Snow White did not take kindly to people describing his appearance as pretty or cute.
あなたは
No college education, no current employment. In other words, you're a household helper who stays at home all day.
What's wrong with that? If he can do the chores and he can cook food, that's all you need in a male wife.
I think is just nicely saying he's a neat.
I know he's a neat, but he doesn't need to say that. Snow White turned away and refused to answer. It works for him.
もしかして
No, did I
先ほどの
perhaps
僕の
offend
発
you
言
with
が
my
気に障りま
statement?
したか？それならばすみ
If
ませ
so,
ん。
then I
思ったこと
apologize.
を口に
I
し
have
て
a
しまう
bad
のは
habit of
僕の
speaking
悪
with
い
no
癖でして
filter.
Silently, Snow White rose to his feet and left the living room altogether. He's just like, I'm done with this bitch. Fuck this.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't have to put up with this. Bye.
尋問は済みましたか？
Have you
探偵さん。
finished your interrogation, detective? The wizard confirmed autistic. Just then, Gretel walked back in carrying a tray of teacups. With a gallant smile, he placed one of them on the table in front of the wizard.
Poisoned, got it.
こ
Yeah,
れはどうもご丁寧な
Why? How thoughtful.
tosses it out the window. But before the wizard could pick it up, it disappeared in a blur.
Hello.
Gretel had snatched it away.
I see.
His gallant smile was gone, replaced with a nasty sneer. Gretel! He was being unspeakably rude, but before I could scold him, the wizard raised a hand to stop me. The smile on his face told me, I'll handle this.
ところであなたは
By the way,
姉で
I
あ
hear
る
you
アリ
have
さ
a
んの
deep
ことを
respect for
とて
your
も慕ってい
sister,
るそう。
Reikyu.
He quickly changed to tact.
そうですよ。それが何か？
Yes? That's true. What of it?
It's weird.
いいえ
Yes.
Oh,
実
I'm
に
just
仲の
thinking
いい
you
ご
two
兄
seem
弟
like
だと
close
思ったまでで
siblings.
すよ。ただち
Yes.
ょっ
But a
とそ
little
の行
bird
為が
told
行
me
き過
that
ぎていると
affection
いう
might
話
be
も
getting a
小耳に
bit
挟みましてね。
excessive.
The smile vanished from Gretel's face because it's true. No surprise there, since the wizard had basically implicated him in the crime.
探偵さんは頭で紅茶を飲むことができますか？
Detective, do you like to drink your tea through osmosis?
How did you know?
はい
Beg pardon?
Throws tea in
頭
his
皮から紅
face.
茶を摂取したいですか？
Just wondering if I should dump this over your head.
He looks like a sad meow meow, the wizard.
He raised the cup of tea he had snatched.
いや
No, no,
普通に
I
口か
generally
ら
prefer
味わ
my
いたい
tea
ものです
administered orally. Thank you.
Even the wizard couldn't shrug that one off. Yeah, he had to pay for
ならば
dry
さっさと
cleaning.
紅茶で口を塞いでください。でないと大やけどをする
In
ことにな
that
ります
case,
よ。
I advise you to plug your mouth hole before you end up with third-degree burns.
Hmm.
With a stiff smile, the wizard accepted the teacup from Gretel. From there, Gretel placed the teacup in front of everyone else, and we all had a lovely tea time. Not. If only the moon in the room wasn't quite so oppressive. This is perhaps asking a lot, however, given that the brothers were hardly inclined to trust the detective. Ultimately, I couldn't deny that this was all my fault, because I wrote the letter. I was the one who had received the blackmail letter that I sent to myself, and I was the one who had hired the detective. I couldn't even taste my tea. COVID!
So, how much do you know about us, Mr. Wizard?
You know, for people that don't want to be implicated in a threat against their fiance's life, they sure are implicating themselves in a threat against their fiance's life. Yeah,
So
they're not
true.
doing themselves any favors here. Summoning all my courage, I broke the heavy silence.
というと
What do you mean?
Based on the comments you made, it seems like you have an overall outline of each of us.
そうです
Hmm.
ね
Yes.
長男の
Cinderella
シン
is
デレ
the
ラ
eldest.
次男
Snow
の
White is
白
the
雪
second son.
三
Red
男の
Riding
赤
Hood is the
ずき
third
そして
son.
四男の
Katya is the
神谷
fourth son.
五
And
男の
Gretel is
グ
the
レーテル
youngest. All
彼らは
blood
血のつながっ
related
た
and all
兄弟
currently
であり
living at the Arisu
現在
estate.
アリス城のお屋敷に揃ってお世話になっている
How
という
is Snow
こと
the second son and Red Riding Hood the third son if Red is older? If they're all blood related.
I can think of a reason, but I can't say, because you don't know.
I don't know, you say.
5人の兄弟たちはそれぞれアリス城の婚約者だということ
Each of the brothers is currently betrothed to you. Words hard.
もちろん結婚できるのはそのうちの一人だ
Of
け
course,
です
you can only marry one
肝
of
心
them.
のアリス
But you
城
have
は
Not
yet
true.
今の
to
今
make
ま
a
で
decision
選べ
on
ない
that
でい
front.
た
Is that about
と
right?
いうところかな
Polyamory is a thing.
全部じゃねえか
So true. So you know everything.
まあ
Yeah,
そう
I
かもし
suppose
れ
I
ません
might.
He's the wizard after all. For a moment, I stared down silently at the amber liquid in my cup.
This is what they froze the dinosaurs in.
Then I felt a gaze on me and looked up directly into a pair of equally amber eyes.
あなたは犯
You
人は
believe the
身近に
culprit
い
is
ると
someone
思って
close
い
to
るん
you,
ですよね
correct?
It's Wolf! Well,
My heart skipped a beat. It almost felt like he was accusing me. Because I did it. At this, the dam burst and the five brothers started to turn on each other.
赤ずき兄さん。
you know Red Riding Hood.
兄さ
I
んは
seem
姉
to
さんを
recall you
一人で
vowing to
守ろう
protect
とし
sister
ましたけど。
all by yourself.
私
I,
は違い
I'm
ま
not the
す
culprit.
Interesting that you're so flustered about it.
He's flustered about everything.
True.
It's not what you think. What about you, Kaguya? Why haven't you said a word this entire time?
What? No, everyone got so serious all of a sudden, that's all. It wasn't me.
Why can't you keep a straight face when you say that?
Now, hang on, you lot! Don't you reckon it's a bit early to start calling me a criminal, if that's your only evidence? I mean, think about it. I don't have a motive. None of us do. Snow chimes in the fact that we all have a motive.
Yeah, literally, this was addressed. You all have a motive.
None of us have a motive? How can you be sure of that? Well,
Honestly, if anyone here has a motive, it'd be Gretel.
Yeah, here we go. They're turning on each other. Let's go. What? Why me?
Why else? Because you have an unhealthy obsession with Arisu.
I mean, it is an unhealthy relation, but it's caused by an unhealthy obsession.
Listen, words are hard, especially with the cough drop in my mouth.
Well, finish up the cough drop and then we can move on. Let me know when the next ad break is and we can just take a break then, because I can get some water, I can go... Yeah.
I'll let you know when it's upcoming.
Yeah. That's what you're worried about? I won't deny it. But do you really think someone's obsessed with her would want her dead?
Yes.
Yes. That's usually how these things go. Marry me or I'll kill you.
Or that classic archetype, you know, like, if I can't have her, no one can, or whatever.
True. Don't talk to me like I'm a yandere. Or don't talk about me like I'm a yandere, because I am.
If you're not a yandere, then what the hell are you? Just a pure psychopath? I mean...
True. No, keep it going. Why would we stop this? Why would we get in the middle of this? Just keep it going. Am I wrong here? We might find something about the culprit, the true culprit.
I mean... Sure, oops. And if it's wrong, we can just go back.
I don't think yanderes are known for being impure psychopaths, to be honest.
I mean,
if you want, we can look up a guide, but I'm thinking no, because
I like to attempt it first blindly, at least. See how far we get.
So what's your thought process here? Like, why would we stop them?
Because it's getting out of hand.
I mean, yes. But also at the same time...
Yeah, you're right. And like I said, if it ends up being wrong, we can just go back. No big deal.
Oh yeah, it's like literally the first choice. If we fuck up the first choice, that's fine.
Yeah.
As the brothers started to bicker amongst themselves, the wizard stepped in.
Wizord.
Now,
boys, calm down. You're scaring Lady Arisu.
Don't just use me as an excuse.
Too late. Arisu.
Sister. All eyes turned to me. I started to tremble. The room was toasty warm, yet somehow it was freezing. Because of me, the men I loved were now at each other's throats. Because I sent the letter. It felt like a monster. It was going to come out sooner or later. The wizard rose to his feet and extended a hand in my direction. Do you think the wizard knows Reikyu sent her own blackmail letter at this point?
I mean, if she is in fact the one that sent the letter, I feel like the wizard probably knows.
Oh, 100%. Wizard knows everything.
Yep. You don't look
アリ
well,
ス
Lady
嬢は気分
Arisu.
が悪い
I
よう
think
だ
you should rest.
5 eyes start glaring daggers at the wizard.
10 eyes.
I meant to say 5 pairs of eyes, but
Yeah, I figured.
I missed a word there.
You did.
I apologize.
Whose eyes are those? They're all mine. I stole them from other people.
Biblically accurate relics.
Biblically accurate blob. I took his hand, rose from the sofa, and hurried out of the room as if we were on fire. No, you're supposed to stop, drop, and roll if you're on fire. Take it from me, a bird that is perpetually on fire.
So are you constantly
It
rolling?
definitely works. Half moon. Okay, so half moon. So we have like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
At the top of the stairs, I gazed out at the moon peeking out from behind the clouds and let out a small breath. I had about 5 days until the next full moon.
That moon goes fast.
That moon does go fast. What the fuck?
Jesus.
Oh wait, no. If we're talking full moon cycle, that makes sense. Because like, I forgot there's like a dark and a light cycle to the moon.
Either I would have to choose one of the 5 brothers as my husband.
Either I would need to choose one of the 5 brothers as my husband.
I know. The time between 4 phases of the moon is about 7.4 days, but the orbit is slightly elliptical, so there are slight variations.
Okay, so about 5 days.
A half moon would
'Cause
be
it's-
half that many days from a full moon, so about 14.77 days apart.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be 5 days. This game is insane.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, okay, so we have 2 weeks. So I was correct in that statement.
Yeah, you were, but the game was like, nope, 5 days. I guess a day per guy.
Oh man, you ever do a fortnight in 5 days?
I've never done a fortnight at all.
A fortnight is 2 weeks, Saku.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not just a game that kids play to meme on each other. It's an actual term.
Oh boy.
It's not just a meme game where kids gonna have Rick Sanchez versus Goku and Naruto.
Uh,
And I think they're adding Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles soon.
I'm also kind of surprised they aren't already in the game.
True. It's the moon post Robotnik blowing up so it moves faster because there's less moon.
Oh boy.
Sonic Adventure 2 battle. Let's go.
Or I would have to hunt down the culprit and prevent him from harming me. I kept thinking and thinking, but I couldn't come to a decision and let out another sigh. Why did all the lights go out?
Lady Arisu.
I turned in the direction of the stairs. There I could see the wizard in the darkness, halfway up the staircase.
ご気分の
How
方
are you
はどうですか
A lot better. Thanks. Where's my fiancé's? I donned a peachy smile. Sorry for making a scene back there. Should we go back to the living room and continue the discussion? Or would you rather call it a night? As I approached him, he suddenly grabbed me by the arm. Startled, I watched as he leaned in close to me and pressed his forehead to mine.
うーん
Hmm. Well,
It's
you don't
not
appear to
like
have a
that.
fever.
Eh? He gazed into my eyes. What are you?
A wizard.
熱が
Oh,
出てき
now
た
I feel like
大丈
something.
夫
You alright?
I'm fine. Fit as a fiddle. Raring to go. I hastily pushed him away from me.
That's the
そ
spirit.
のようだ
He laughed cheerfully. Is he teasing me? He totally is, isn't he?
Yep.
I apologize for worrying you.
I dropped the little act and let out a sigh. For some reason, it felt like he could see right through me.
いやいや、
Oh, it's no
他のご兄
trouble.
弟も
Your fiancés
あ
are
なたの
quite
ことを
worried,
心配して
however.
いましたよ。
Right.
みんなあなたのこ
It
と
seems they all
をとて
care
も
for
大
you a
切に
great
思っている
deal.
ようだ。
Right.
I smiled and nodded. I knew they cared. Some a little too much. After all the time we spent together, it was plain to see. And I cared about them too. That was why I was having such a hard time with this.
So did you find any clues?
そうですね。
Well, let's see.
怪しいと
They
いえ
all
ば
seem
みんな
suspicious,
怪しい
but at the same time,
怪
they
しく
all
ない
seem
といえば
innocent too.
みんな怪しくない
Except for Gretel.
といったと
There's
こ
no
ろで
way
しょう。
Gretel's innocent.
I mean, that's all I can say for now.
つまりは
In
何も
other
わからない
words,
というこ
no,
とです
I。haven't found anything yet.
I guess it'll take some time.
The smile faded from my face. I headed right back up the stairs again. Back at the landing, I spun around to face him.
Mr. Wizard. To be quite honest with you, I don't care one whit whatever I live or die. What truly pains me is that this crisis is destroying their family. I regret ever letting it come to this. Part of me wishes I'd simply thrown the letter away, or didn't mail it in the first place.
I poured my heart out to him.
それでも
Even then,
遅から
the
早か
brothers
れ
would
あの
have
兄弟
started
たち
fighting
は
over you sooner or
誰があ
later.
なたを手に入れるかという
Yeah,
戦いを
like-
始めたことでしょう。
The thing was that she was just delaying the inevitable of like, oh, you're gonna have to choose
Mhm.
eventually.
ただ
I suppose you could say
その日が
that
来たのが
today
今日だ
just so happens to be the day the
と
other
い
shoe
うだけのこと
dropped.
ではないでしょうか。
True. He spoke as though he were all-knowing.
What should I do?
君が誰か
The whole
一
thing
人を
would be
選べば
solved pretty
すぐ
quick
に
if you
解
picked
決するよ。
someone.
He made it sound so Catan. Or Cantan.
I get that. Really, I do. But I love all of them. I can't possibly choose just one.
Rationally speaking, I was being incredibly self-centered and cruel. Yeah. I was acting as though my feelings were the only ones that mattered. Yeah. I knew I was being selfish and procrastinating on my problems. And right now, I wanted to maintain the status quo. Dumb. It was a quiet night. In the absence of our voices, there were no sounds to be heard, not even a mouse. Maybe he didn't know what to say. After all, he barely knew me. And while I was indeed his client, that didn't mean he wanted to hear my entire life story. Maybe he does. I tried to think of some way to change the subject.
君に魔法を
Allow
見
me
せて
to
あげよ
cast a spell upon you.
Then out of nowhere, the wizard made me an unusual offer.
A spell? As in, a magic spell?
As opposed to.
そうだよ。
Yes, of
なんて言ったって
course.
僕は
I'm a
魔法
wizard
使いだから
after
ね
all.
He shot me a wink.
I thought you were a detective.
探偵は世忍ぶ
Alas, that is only a disguise.
してその
My
正
true
体
form is that of a
暗
wizard,
闇に迷え
guiding
る
lost
子羊
sheep
を
through
正
the
しく道に
darkness to the
導く
proper
魔
path.
法使いなのであります。
Okay, wizard. He reached behind his back and pulled out an oversized wizard hat. Uh-oh.
What you see here is a round red apple. Now, I shall make that apple vanish without a trace.
He's a stage magician by day, detective by night. Next, he retrieved an apple from God knows where.
Is this a magic trick?
Sure, you could call it that.
Just like that, he readily admitted that it was just a magic trick. Oh great, he's a Chewy. Aren't you supposed to use a top hat for this? With a deft hand, he showed me the inside of his empty hat, as if to say, no tricks, no gimmicks. Then he pointed to the hole in the ceiling, and held the apple over it. Oh, pointed the hole towards the ceiling, not pointed at the hole in the ceiling.
That makes more sense.
Once he was ready, he closed his eyes and began to recite an incantation in the direction of the apple.
Errant fruit of Eden, return thyself to thy proper place. Ringo Ringo apple manzaga jabaku go.
Hi!
Ringo Ringo apple manzaga jabaku. Goddamn.
Shouting, he dropped the apple into the hat. I'm entertained. I don't know about you.
I'm definitely entertained too.
There was a loud thud, as if it had collided with something hard.
What was that?
Don't worry about it.
He smiled stiffly. Maybe this wasn't supposed to happen. He just dropped it on the floor. It's not in the hat, he just dropped it on the floor.
Now then, take a look. You saw me drop the apple inside, but as you can see...
So how that trick is supposed to work is that he's supposed to catch it with his other hand, and then, you know, hide it under the rim of the hat.
Mm-hmm.
He raised the hat with both hands to show me the inside. So he just failed the trick, that's all. But because Reiku's, like, too focused on the hat, because, you know, power of misdirection, like, she heard the sound, but she didn't click to, like, look over and see the apple rolling on the ground.
Yeah.
Sure enough, the apple was nowhere to see, because he dropped it on the floor. However, the wizard's posture was somewhat unnatural. The way he suppressed the midsection of the hat made me suspicious. Maybe there was a mirror or a false bottom in there. But then again, all magic tricks required some sort of sleight of hand, and I didn't want to embarrass him by pointing it out.
Bravo!
So instead I applauded his efforts.
I can't help but notice there was a really awkward pause just now.
No, there wasn't.
I smiled brightly.
Thank you, Mr. Wizard. That was the first time anyone ever performed a magic trick for me, and I really enjoyed it.
No, this is not the end, my lady. Not with the French.
No. He wagged his index finger in my face.
Huh?
I regarded him dubiously. In response, he donned a meaningful smirk and reached into his hat.
Now, it's time for the tricky, gimmicky magic.
Dude just going through his entire stage show right now. Then he pulled out exactly one half of an apple, neatly sliced. Huh?
Now then, if I turn this so you can't see the cut, it appears to be a whole apple, see?
Oh, this one's a little bit more fun when you pull it off.
But if I turn it 90 degrees horizontally, naturally, since it's cut in half, it makes a half circle.
Okay.
But if I turn it another 90 degrees, you can barely see any red at all. You started with a round apple, but as you look at it from different angles, you start to see the bigger picture.
As he spoke, he dropped the half apple back into his hat. Then he held it pointing side up.
そして姿あ
And
る
like
も
all
のは
things,
いつ
it
しか
eventually
消えてしまう
disappears.
リンゴの物語
This is where the
は
apple
ここでお
story
しまい
ends.
というわけです
This time he must have done the trick correctly, because there's no weird thudding noise, and the apple vanished without a sound.
魔法使いの魔
And that
法
was
ショ
the
ー
Wizard's
こ
magic
れにて
show.
終
A
了
round of
です
applause,
はい拍
everyone.
手
He bowed deeply, and I clapped.
Reminds me of the phases of the moon when you think about it.
うん
Yes,
そうだね
indeed. As well as
そ
a
して
metaphor for your
君が
current
今置かれている
predicament.
現状でもある
Then he placed his hat upon my head, and all the apples came out.
I also thought that.
今君に見えているのは
Right now, you can only see
君
two
が殺される
futures.
か
One where
兄
you
弟の
die,
誰
or
か
one
と
where you start a
家庭を
family
築
with
いてい
one
るかとい
brother.
う二択の未来だ
Wizard about to introduce the concept of polyamory to Reikyu.
でも見
But
方
with a
を変え
little
れば
change in
世界は
perspective,
ガラリ
the
と
whole
変わる
world can look brand
選
new.
択肢は無限
Your
に
options
増え
are
る
limitless,
未来もそ
with
の選択
dozens
の
of
分
branching
枝分かれす
paths. Like a visual novel.
Meaning,
る言葉のままです
I
よ
mean exactly what I
犯
said.
人は
You
誰かだ
mustn't lose yourself in the
未来の
immediate
夫だ
questions
と
of
か
culprit or
そんな目
husband.
先の問題にとらわれてはいけない君は
You have to look at the bigger picture.
そう
Yes.
世
You need a
界を
bird's
俯瞰
eye
すべ
view.
きなのです
Well, it's
I
time.
have two.
I was gonna say it's time for your perspective relix.
My perspective, shit fucked.
So true.
what? I didn't understand what he was trying to tell me.
Then he snickered.
月を見て
Gazing mournfully at the moon will not open any new doors for you,
道は開けないぞ。
Reiki Arisu.
ってことさ
See, now he's speaking more like the wizard.
He's the wizard, after all.
Yes. But like, he was so caught up in like the detective persona, but now he's like, okay, I'm gonna go back to being cryptic.
Yeah.
In other words, stop throwing yourself a pity party and take action. Yeah, we're gonna fight people.
In that case, could I ask a favor of you?
はい
What might
なんで
that
しょう
be?
Could I accompany you on your investigation?
もちろん
But of course.
Yeah, I need to figure. We need to figure out if he's getting too close to Reiku being the culprit. Evidently, the brothers had all gone back to their bedrooms. Thus, the wizard and I headed straight for Cinderella's room. I had my indecisive moments, but once I finally did make a decision, I acted on it right away. In like 3 minutes. Cinderella's personal quarters were located in the ballroom on the first floor. I was going to say they don't have enough rooms for bedrooms in this mansion. With elegant chandeliers and plenty of floor space, it was the perfect place to throw a party.
で
So,
なん
Why
で
am I the
俺が
first on
一
your
番なん
list?
だよ
Yeah?
I don't know what you said.
Oh, I said, Cinderella folded her arms, grump. Cinderella folded his arms and grumbled.
年の順です
Because you're the oldest.
The wizard smiled didn't waver, and he replied without missing a beat.
そう言って
You say that.
実の
But
とこ
you
は
think are the most
俺が
likely
一番怪しい
suspect,
って
don't you,
睨んでるん
detective?
じゃないのか探偵さん
Cinderella looked at him suspiciously.
いえいえ
No, no.
めっそうも
Perished
ない
thought. Oh boy.
Let's see. How will you defend yourself against Cinderella's claims? Oh, how will you mollify Cinderella's concerns? Defend yourself. Flatter him. Flatter him. We know this is a man of ego.
True.
Part of of the reason we chose to go by age is because I knew you were the best person to ask about this kind of stuff, Cinderella.
To prevent this conversation from going in circles, I hastily piped up.
Yeah, you make a good point. I really know my stuff.
Man, he's dumb! Cinderella nodded gleefully.
So, what do you want to know? Thank you for your cooperation. First, let me ask you about your day-to-day life. Oh, and your relationships with the rest of your housemates. Go to work at sunrise, come home at sunset. Then I take a shower, eat dinner, work on my glass crafts, and go to bed. Rinse and repeat. Fair. Me and my brothers, I'd say we're on good terms, but we don't talk all that much. Pretty normal sibling stuff.
Oh, hey Saki, are you good with logic word puzzles?
Sometimes, not always.
Cause you ever get like the classic one where it's like 5 brothers, all of them are lying, one of them is telling the truth.
Yes, we encountered this during Turn Up Boy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I love those puzzles, they're great.
I know.
I say we go with the same mindset, but the opposite. One of the brothers is lying.
Maybe.
And I think we start comparing notes of like what each brother says about each one of the brothers and something about their like day-to-day lives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But just like keep it in your mind. You don't have to write it down.
I'm not gonna write down anything.
Okay.
And as for Arisu, she's my fiance. End of story.
Ooh, a little bit possessive there with the my fiance. Instead of our fiance. Duh, duh.
And how do you feel about Lady Arisu? I love her. What about it?
Aw, Cinderella!
It was so sudden I nearly swooned. You gotta fight him? However...
Is it her money that you love most of all? Are you a gold digger?
Let's go! Wizard calling the real questions out. At this, Cinderella quirked a brow.
What are you trying to say, pal? I was just asking a question, that's all. I'm wondering whether anyone's love for her is genuine. I see.
That's true. You never stop to consider that.
Yeah. Additionally, could I ask how you came to live at the Arisu estate and how you came to be engaged? You were homeless, so Arisu's nut job father gave us a place to stay.
He jerked a thumb in my direction without looking at me.
Interesting. How did you end up homeless?
Ooh.
Well,
At this, he faltered.
Cinderella, if I remember correctly, your family was very wealthy when you were young, correct? But then your parents made some poor business decisions and took out predatory loans to make up for it.
Specifically, your father.
With no way to pay back the massively inflated debt, he abandoned you and your mother and fled the country.
That's nothing new. We learned that in his route.
Life must have been hard for you after that. I imagine it was a drastic change, given how rich you used to be. So, you think I want to marry her for the money? Well, do you?
Honestly, just say it. Like, if you do, man, just say it. Be a man. Cinderella glanced at me and spoke in an icy voice.
In that case, you can cross me off your list. If I'm after her money, then there's no way I'd want to kill her.
Life insurance, bitch.
I mean, sure, I guess. but still.
こいつと結婚しなき
After
ゃ
all, I won't get a
逆
son of
玉
it if
に
she's
乗れね
dead.
えしな
I do like the fact that he turned that logic back on them, though.
Mm-hmm.
確かに
It's the only point.
で
So,
それが今
Does
回の
any
事
of that
件
have
に
to do
何
with
か
the
関係す
case?
るのか
No.
今のところはな
Not
い
at
で
the
すね
moment, no.
じゃあもういいだろう
Alright then. I
職
guess we're
人の
done
朝は
here.
早いん
I
だ
got an early morning tomorrow,
もう寝かせ
so
て
it's
く
my
れ
bedtime. EP time for Cinderella.
EP
わかり
time.
ました
The best time of
いろいろ
day.
と有用なお話をお聞か
Very
せくだ
well.
さり
Thank you for
ありがとうござい
enlightening the
ます
conversation. Or for the enlightening conversation. I'm so smart.
ではでは
Fare thee
失礼しま
well
す
and have a good night.
With one hand at his chest, the wizard bowed politely.
Sweet dreams, Cinderella.
In response, Cinderella smiled softly.
あ
Thanks.
あおやすみ
Next, we visited Red Riding Hood. Why'd you put him in the doghouse?
Right?
He lived in a cabin in a short distance from the main estate, aka the doghouse.
Red, you in there? Red, Mr. Wizard is here to see you.
No matter how much I knocked, no answer came. The lights were on inside, but I knew Red Riding Hood wasn't the type to hide. If he was in there, he would have answered the door by now. I exchanged a glance with the wizard.
He doesn't seem to be in there.
Time to break in.
まだ今にいるのかもしれませんね
Perhaps it's still in the living room. That would be funny.
In that case, let's hurry back.
Why didn't they check there first?
Yeah, I was gonna say, why didn't they check there first?
He's not here either.
Unfortunately, when we returned to the living room, Red Riding Hood was nowhere to be seen.
Where on earth did he wander off to?
Just in case I checked under the table, but naturally he wasn't under there. I wonder why.
Oh, hey, Mr.
I looked over, but before his name had fully left my lips, I stopped short. He was standing at the window, looking outside.
Did you find Red?
His folded arms and blank expression afforded him a listless air. I admit, I was a little annoyed with him for zoning out, considering he was supposed to be helping me. But more than that, I was bewitched by his good looks. He didn't feel quite real. Almost like I was looking at a Hollywood actor on the silver screen. The wizard felt my gaze and glanced in my direction.
外にいますね
He's outside. Wow, I was right.
He pointed at the window.
What?
I hurried over and sure enough, I could see Red Riding Hood standing out in the yard, staring at the gates.
What is he doing out there?
You know, just bark, 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 bark.
Bark, 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 postman, bark, bark. Not only was it wintertime, but it was the middle of the night.
Not this again.
He had to be freezing his butt off.
Wait, but we were just out there.
Did we fail to notice him? Did we miss him on our way back inside? Those questions would have to wait.
Red, what are you doing out here in the cold?
He had to walk back to his house. Approaching him from behind, I called out to him.
What are you? Oh, Miss Artisu, what's wrong?
He rolled around and started flailing his arms wildly. Uh-oh.
I literally just asked you the same thing.
I gave him a puzzled look, then he noticed the wizard standing next to me.
No, it wasn't me.
Out of nowhere, he started denying any wrongdoing, like a truly innocent person. Answer him or question him. Oh, sorry, agree with him or question him. Question.
Alright.
Are you the culprit?
No, I definitely, of course not.
Come again?
Was that supposed to be a yes or a no? Tears filled his eyes. He's not the culprit. He too baby.
Yeah, he's panicking for real right now.
He too puppy. Evidently, my joke had crossed a line.
You crossed that joke to line.
Yeah.
I was just messing with you. Let's all calm down, okay?
I smiled softly at him, and he slowly came to a stop like a robot running out of battery power.
Okay.
So what are you doing out here?
He tucked his hood down, low over his eyes, possibly out of embarrassment.
In light of the threat you've received, I decided to stand guard outside, starting tonight.
But it's the middle of the night, and it's winter.
I blinked at him, dumbfounded. Make no mistake, Red Riding Hood was a kind-hearted, diligent man, but he lacked, common sense.
Perfect for a cop.
Yeah.
Besides, if the letter's to believe, then the culprit won't try anything until the next full moon.
This, I felt, was a bulletproof argument.
I wouldn't put much stock in the words of a criminal, would you?
I wasn't expecting this rebuttal. True, though. In short, Red Riding Hood didn't trust the blackmailer to actually keep their promise. It was a valid point, and one I hadn't considered.
I guess you're right.
Indeed. Therefore, I must ask you to prioritize your own safety.
But
No buts.
He looked firmly into my eyes. His expression was so intense it made me want to bolt. Normally, I was the dominant type. To his sub, I wasn't used to being submitting, be it to criticism or anything else.
Miss Arisu,
But before he could finish, an exaggerated sneeze brought us back to reality.
So, not to interrupt, but might I ask a few questions?
Evidently, the wizard had been waiting for the chance to speak. You're not getting that with Red, unless you interrupt him. The way he rubbed his palm together, he looked like a second-rate villain, because he is.
Right. Go ahead.
Caught off guard, Red smiled stiffly and stepped away from me. It was obvious he was flustered.
Red Riding Hood, you're betrothed to Lady Arisu, is that correct? Bedrobed?
We talking about bed ropes now?
I guess so.
Damn. That escalated fast. Whoa there, buddy. Rule 1. Never underestimate the power of Red Riding Hood's dirty mind. Yes.
すみません。
I apologize.
ついうっかり
It
噛んで
appears
し
I
まいました
misheard you.
婚約者
Betrothed.
ですね。
Yes. You are correct.
その通りです。
I am betrothed to her.
私は彼女の婚約者で間違いあ
Oh
りません。
boy, Red.
Betrothed and he wants the bed ropes. Damn.
Yep.
Blushing beat Red. He struggled to recover.
そのことにあ
Are
な
you
たは不満を
unsatisfied
持っ
with
てい
that?
る
不満
Of
だ
course
なんて
not.
これは
This was the condition Miss
この屋敷に
Aldersea's
私のようなものを
father
置い
set
てく
for
れた
us after he
ミス・ア
graciously
リス
allowed
の
us to
父上
live
が
in
決
his
めたこと
home.
ですから。
Like Cinderella, Red Riding Hood made mention of my father. My father worked as a doctor at a university hospital. He was a quiet, virtuous man with eccentric tastes and an irresponsible streak. It was he who enabled me to live with the 5 brothers, and it was he who approved our engagement. I'd expected the next question to center on that subject, but as it turned out, I was slightly off.
5人の兄弟
Don't
全
you
員
find it
が
a
ア
bit
リス城の
strange for
婚
all
約者で
5
あ
of
る
you
こと
to
に
be engaged to
少
the
しで
same
もお
woman?
かしさを感じませんか？
それも
It is simply
ミス・ア
what
リスの
Mr.
父上が
Arisu
決めたことで
decided.
すから。
なるほど。
I see.
ではあなたは
So you're just
彼
following
女のお
orders
父
from her
様がそう
father,
決め
and
た
you
か
don't
らそ
actually
うし
love
てる
her
だ
at
けであ
all?
って実のところ彼女のことは特に好いてはいないと。
それはありえません。
Gasp!
That's preposterous.
Red Riding Hood denied it loudly. Our eyes met.
ありえません。
Preposterous.
Then he averted his gaze. Oh no, he's thinking
で
about
は
it.
できれば
So,
結ば
you're
れたい
saying
と
you
考え
would
てい
like
る
to marry her, if possible.
His face flushed all over again, and he hung his head to escape my gaze. Then, after a long silence,
私には
As it stands, I'm unworthy of
結ばれ
being
る資
her
格はあり
husband.
ません。
I would need to change
です
that.
からそれに値する男になるあなたの身は
Miss Arisu,
私が必
I
ず
vow to
守ります。
protect you. It is my sworn
守らな
duty.
ければならないんです。
he mumbled under his breath. Oh, Red. He was so shy and sweet and sincere. I loved him to bits. Good boy.
守ることに
You
固執
seem
してい
dead
るん
set on
です
keeping
ね。
her safe.
守るといえば
But do you keep your
約束でしょう
promises?
か？
At this, the blood drained from Red's face. Meanwhile, the wizard continued his merciless interrogation.
あなたは昔
Once upon a
嘘をつい
time,
たこと
you
が
told a
原因
lie
で
that drove
人が
everyone
離
away
れて
from
しま
you.
った経
Or
験
so
があ
I'm
るとお
told.
聞きしました
Is
が
that true?
それ黙秘です。
No comment, I take it.
わかりました。
Very well.
では
I'll move
もう
on
一
to my
つ
next
質問なのですが
question. I
あなたは
understand you
警
work
察
as a
のお仕
police
事をされている
officer.
わけですが
What exactly
普
does
段
that
はどういっ
entail?
たことを
いろいろです
A。lot of things.
いろいろとは
Such as?
企業秘
It's
密
classified.
Mr. Wizard, Red's not really at liberty to discuss his work.
He's just a cop, not military, jeez.
I was gonna say. Like, if it was active investigation, I understand, but like, helping an old lady carry her groceries across the street, you know, like something like that, something small.
Issue out
community
speeding
work.
tickets.
Yeah, issue out speeding tickets. Catch local delinquents that are skipping school. Like, that type of stuff you could probably say.
Yep.
I hastily cut in.
He cares a lot about protecting the privacy of the citizens.
I see. Can't argue with that, I suppose. Could you tell me the department you work for, at least? The Canine unit.
Watch it be the canine unit.
It would
At
be
this,
funny.
Red finally seemed to concede.
Red Riding Hood from the Bureau of Investigation.
He answered matter-of-factly.
Thank you. That's all the questions I have for today. Good luck with your work.
Working for the Bureau of Investigations. Where have we heard that one before? Red turned his back to us, his expression hard.
Please don't get pneumonia or anything, okay?
If you know my...
Pneumonia. I called out to him.
I'll be alright. You take care, Miss Adisu.
What happened there is I started reading the word before I actually read the full word.
Yeah, I figured.
So I was like, brain and mouth going at the same time, just trying to keep up.
Yeah.
Will do.
Good night, Miss Arisu.
Good night, Red.
Pow pow. Anemone. An enemy. An enemy. An enemy. Next up, Kaguya, the first son. We headed over to a single-story building short distance from the mansion. We probably should have came straight here instead of looking for Red, but I wasn't thinking. The sign out front read, "The Bamboo House."
Hi.
Man, for all these guys living under the same roof, 2 of them at least live off campus.
Close enough.
Yeah. Yes. Kaguya called out from behind the lattice door.
Sorry to bother you. It's me, Reikyu Arasu.
At this, I heard him reach for the lock. However,
I'd like to ask you a few questions. Could I have a moment of your time?
all we hear is click as he relocks the door. Kaguya froze.
Almost.
Please, Kaguya. We just want to talk to you if that's okay.
We don't bite.
I might. Desperately, I called out to him before he could ghost us.
Yeah.
聞きたいことっていうのは何ですか?
So, what do you want to
僕
know?
が一番怪しいって
Are
こ
you
とです
saying
か?
I'm the number 1 suspect?
Nope, just 1 of 5.
Yeah, just 1 of 5. He asked before the wizard could get in a word in edgewise.
No, nothing of the sort. For now, we're just getting to know everyone so we can organize our thoughts on the case.
The wizard continued to smile unflinchingly.
ヒーさんと一緒に
We, as in you and Puppet?
She requested to tag along.
そうなんや。ほんならどうぞ。
Right then. Carry on. Likewise, Kaguya maintained a smile of his own. Can you imagine a wizard trying to interrogate these guys by himself, though?
Yeah, it wouldn't go as smoothly.
It wouldn't go very well. For some reason, this dueling smiles thing was making me really uncomfortable.
Fair. For starters, what do you do for a living?
Drifter, next question.
喫茶店でウェイターの仕事をやってます。
I work as a waiter at a cafe.
商店街の中心に
It's
変
a
わった外観の
one-of-a-kind
店があるん
building
やけ
right
ど
in the heart of
そこ
downtown.
の店主
The
が
owner
最寄り
took
の
me
ない
in when I
僕
had
を置いてくれ
nowhere
たんや
else to turn. Kaguya looked at me and I nodded.
あなたは
You're currently
アリス
engaged
嬢
to
と
Lady
婚約者
Arisu.
の
Is
間
that
なら
correct? Or
と
is
いう
that
こと
right,
は
rather?
間違いないですか？
せや
Same
で
difference.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
そのことに
Are
つ
you
いて不満は？
Are you unsatisfied with the way things are now?
Are you satisfied with your
別に
service?
ないな
Not really.
他の兄弟を
Have you
邪魔
ever
だと
wished your
思った
brothers
こと
were
は？
out of the picture?
Just Gretel. At this, Kaguya lost steam and fell silent. Rather still, he stopped smiling, which suggested he was deeply opposed to the question. After a long silence, he let out a sigh.
僕らは血を分けた兄弟や
We're family, mate.
いくら
We
一
may
人の女
fight
性を
over the
取り合
same
うような
bird,
状況に
but
置か
it's
れてい
nothing
るとは
worth
いえ
killing over.
邪魔だから排除
Kaguya's
するとか
too
考え
self-aware.
たことはないで
Kaguya knows you're
Mhm.
voicing Reikyu.
それは僕だけやない
Ask any of them, and they agree with me.
なるほど。
I see.
あなた
Yes,
自
it's
身は
possible
そう
you
か
feel
もしれ
that
ない。
way. But you
で
can...
も他の兄弟がどう
But can you
思う
be
Blah, blah, blah,
sure
blah.
that others feel the
あ
same?
なたははっきりと言い切れるのですか？
I know, words are hard.
ああ
Yeah.
言い切れるで
Oh,
Naze
I'm
nara.
very sure.
そんなこ
After
とをした
all,
ら
none of
兄
us
さん
want to
が
hurt
悲し
our
むからな
puppet. He said R
Yeah.
Instead of Cinderella, who's very possessive, and said mine.
He grinned at me. Ah, Kaguya! He was so mature and sensitive and considerate. Oh boy, all the boys are great!
See, Reiki understands.
I loved him dearly.
失礼しました。
Of course. I
そうです
apologize.
ね。
I can't
あ
imagine
なた
any of you
方
would
が
lay a hand
婚
on your
約者で
dear
あるアリス嬢を
fiancé.
手にかける
Forgive
こと
my
は考えにくい
rudeness.
ことです。
Looks like Gretel.
無礼をお許しください。
Yeah, looks at Gretel.
ええてええて疑われるのはしゃ
Or
あない
Red
し
with the
な
bed ropes.
でも
Yeah.
証拠もなく決めつけるのはやめてえな
No trouble, mate. I can see how you'd be suspicious, but try not to jump to conclusions without any evidence, yeah? Kaguya smiled stiffly.
もちろんです。
Right you are.
では、
Now then,
最後に
one
もう
last
一つだけ。
question.
Where were you on the night of?
The
The wizard held up his index finger.
あなたは
I've told you
児童養護
previously
施
lived
設
in
で
an
過ごしていた
orphanage.
時期がある
Can
と
you
のことで
explain
す
that?
が、それはどういった理由でなんでしょうか？あなた方は兄弟であるの
Where
に、
were your brothers during
な
that
ぜあなた
time?
だけが
How is it
親
you
戚
were
の
the
家を
only
転
one
々とした
shunted
挙句
around from
施
relative to
設に預けら
relative?
れたのか？
Oh no, the wizard's pointing. The wizard's poking holes in all the stories. Oh no.
At this, Kaguya's mask slipped, and the smile fell from his face entirely.
Will you let the wizard pry into Kaguya's past?
Hmm.
I want to say yes.
Yeah. The more information we get, the better at this stage.
Yeah. And if it's wrong, well, because like we can't keep protecting every one of them, you know?
Yeah.
And the game is very much like, do you protect this person? Or do you let the wizard do his investigation? You
Mhm.
know?
The wizard was trying to probe into his past. In response, both of us fell silent. The only sound was that of our breathing. But in the end, it was Kaguya who broke the heavy silence.
それはどうしても答えなあかんことか
Do
な
I absolutely have to answer that?
一応、
It's not
任意で
mandatory,
す。
for the record.
Kaguya smiled softly. Perhaps he was relieved to hear it. It only lasted for a moment before his expression turned into something mournful. From there, he told us a bit about his past.
僕には最初から何もなかった。
For as long as I can remember,
気づいたら両親はおらんくて、
no
親戚や
parents.
っちゅう人の
My
言われる
only
ままに
option was
する
to
し
do
か
as
な
my
かった。
relatives told me to.
どこに行っても僕は
No matter
そ
where
の
I
家の
went,
子にはなれんかった。
no one truly
当たり
appreciated
前や
me.
な。
Maybe it
僕
was
はその
foolish
人
of
た
me
ち
to
にとっ
hope
て
for it.
ただの
After
厄介
all,
者に過ぎんかった
I
んや。
was only ever a burden to them.
僕は今まで誰にも愛さ
My
れたこと
whole
がな
life,
かった。
no one
誰に
ever
も必要
loved
とされ
me.
てこなかった。
No one ever needed me.
だから僕
So
に
when I
兄弟
found
が
out
おると
about
知っ
my
た時は嬉
brothers,
しかった。
I was chuffed to bits.
ここにいていいって
They
言われ
gave me a
た時は
place to belong, and it meant the world to me.
僕は一人やない。
For the first time,
初めてそう思った。
I wasn't alone anymore.
See, we can let the wizard pry. No problem, right? Next, we paid a visit to Snow White. His room was located on the second floor. The one with the vanity. Of course it is. I knocked on the door and he promptly responded, "Go away."
Who's there?
誰？
Snow White? Is that you?
No, it's Gretel.
あれ、
Very soon.
ちょっと待ってて。
Just a minute.
He didn't come to the door right away. Instead, I could hear him running around in there. Oh, he's trying to clean up his messy room, isn't it?
Yeah, just
Isn't
a
he?
little bit, at least.
Oh no.
お待た
Sorry
せ
it。took so long.
こ
What
ん
do
な
you
夜
need
遅
to
く
lay
に
down?
どうしたの？
Huh?
Because he's trying to be perfect.
He has to be that perfect prince.
Yeah, the perfect prince. After a solid 5 or so minutes had passed, he had finally opened the door. Hiding the evidence, were you? For some reason, he was unusually out of breath, but decided not to comment on that. Because he's a bit of a slob. Let's be real here.
Sorry to disturb you. Mr. Wizard was wondering if we could speak with you. Privately.
I stepped back and gestured to the wizard beside me. Can we just take that line out of context? I
Yes.
gestured to the wizard beside me.
Actually, hang on. I'm gonna go back
兄さんお
and
聞きしたいことがある
not
のですが、
that.
お時間少々
How
よ
do I
ろし
do
いですか？
things?
No, you can load the
That's what I'm
on
trying
the
to.
log.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I'm just pressing the wrong buttons to get to the log.
Yeah, there we go.
Come on. There we go.
Roll that back.
I'll just screenshot that.
I stepped back and gestured to the wizard beside me. That is a fucking amazing line.
Yes, it is. It's so funny.
This is why we like visual novels. There's just some great lines in there that you wouldn't get in real life.
兄さんお聞きした
I
いこ
just
と
have
がある
some
のですが、
questions. Could I trouble you for a few moments of your time?
But Snow White slammed the door in our faces because he doesn't want you to see inside his room because it's still very messy.
I think he just doesn't
And he
want
also doesn't want to talk
the
to Wizard.
Yeah.
Looks like that's a no.
白雪さん
Snow White!
白雪
Snow
さ
White!
ん
Oh, he said like Shiro-san or something like that.
Shirayuki-san, which means Snow White.
Shiroyuki-san. Oh, yeah. The wizard pounded impatiently on the door.
うるさい。
Knock it off.
No. When Snow White finally opened the door, we both quietly took a step back.
で、
So,
話って何？
what did you want to talk about?
At last, you seemed willing to entertain our request. Well, it's either that or you're going to stand out here all night and bang on the door.
Yeah.
ありがとうございま
Thank
す
you very much.
では早速
Let's get started.
白
You're
雪さんと
currently
アリス嬢は
betrothed to Lady
婚約者の
Arisu,
間柄で
correct?
お間違いないでしょうか？
The wizard started with his default opening question.
そうだ
Yep,
ね。
sure am.
あなたのご兄弟
Do you have
全員
any
が
questions or
彼女の
complaints about
婚約
having
者
to
であ
share
る
your
ことに
fiance with your
疑念や
brothers?
不満はありますか？
随分とストレート
You
に
sure
使う
don't
んだ
mince
ね。
words, do you?
この質問に限
In
って
this
は
case, I feel
変
there's no
化球
point
で
in
聞いて
beating
も
around
仕
the
方がない
bush.
ものですのでね。なんせ
After all,
こん
these
なおかしな
circumstances
状
are
況
practically unheard of.
過去に例を見ませんから。
Snow White nodded, smiling faintly.
そう
Sure,
だね。
I admit.
お
The
かしいことだ
situation
とは
must seem
認めているよ。
strange. There's nothing I can do
だけど、
about it.
俺にはどうしようもない。
Fair enough, I guess.
アリスと婚約者である
I
こと
have
に
no
不満
problems
は
being
ないし、
Arisu's fiance,
みんなのこ
and
と
I
も
care
大
about
事
everyone getting along.
なら、
All I could do is
俺に
simply
できる
wait for
こと
her to
は
make her decision.
アリスがどうするのかを待つだけだよ。
彼女が誰を
So
選
you're
ぶ
saying
の
the
かを
choice
た
is
だ
hers
待
to
つだ
make?
けということ？
そうだよ。
Yep, that's what I
今
said.
言ったよね。
では結果
So,
として
if she were to choose
白雪
someone
さん
other
が
than
選ばれ
you,
なくても
you wouldn't
恨
feel
みっこな
resentful
しということ
whatsoever?
で？
No, they just get to take a seat next to Mother. That was a dark joke. At this, Snow White closed his eyes. Oh,
アリスが選んだ
It's
の
her
なら
choice. Nothing I can do about it.
but you would prefer it if it was you, is what we got from that exchange.
Well, of course, he still loves her.
Oh yeah, no shit. They all do. Either way, four to five people are gonna get their hearts crushed right now after this is over. Do you agree that it's purely your choice? Ooh. No, because it's the choice of both parties.
True. Whoever she picks has to agree with it too.
Yeah, it's not just, oh, I pick you. It's, oh, I pick you, do you pick me?
Because I feel like if, like, for example, Reikyu picked Red, Red would be like, no, you should pick one of the others type of thing, you know?
Yeah, but then if it's like purely Reikyu's choice, and it's like, nope, Red, you're coming with me. I don't care what you
Yeah.
think. So, no. The words, nothing I can do, made me feel a tiny bit sad. Yes, I was currently engaged to 5 men, and I was free to marry any one of them. But if I didn't end up choosing him, would he truly be able to simply let it go?
I feel like Snow White in particular probably would, but I'm not sure about the others.
I feel like Snow would be sad, but he would be like, well, it's her choice, there's really nothing I can do about it. And then he kind of throw his own self a little pity party.
Yeah.
Gretel would go absolutely ballistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And right now, I can't get a good read on Kaguya, but I feel like he'd be pretty devastated too, but he'd have that calm demeanor the entire time.
Yeah.
And then Cinderella would be like, whatever.
Yeah.
But deep down, he would be deeply hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And if so, could he still claim to love me?
Yes.
Yes,
Like,
different kind of love. I shook my head, pushing the painful thoughts from my mind. And then I looked up and made eye contact with Snow White.
もう
that
俺
said,
を選んでくれ
if
る
you
に
wanted
越
to
したこ
choose
と
me,
はないけ
I
ど
wouldn't
ね
complain.
Well, of course you wouldn't. You smiled as if you read my mind.
ちなみに
Incidentally,
あ
how
な
do
た
you
はい
usually
つも
spend
家
your
で何
days
を？
here?
Sleeping.
何もしてない。
You don't do much.
本を読んでい
Read
るか
books, sleep,
寝てるかの
one
ど
or
ち
the
らかだ
other.
Yep.
家の外
You
に
don't
は
go
出ないんです
outside?
か？
Does he look like he touches grass?
出ない。
No.
ちなみに
Do you ever
外の
wish you
世界に
could?
憧れたことは？
At this, Snow White's icy countenance twitched slightly.
What's that supposed to mean?
何が言いたいの？
白雪さん、
Snow White,
あなたは
I'm told you
亡
were
く
the
なられ
first
たお母
person
様
to
の
discover
第一
your
発
late
見者だ
mother's
ったみたい
body.
ですね。過労がたたっての
It's
突
believed
然
she
死だっ
died
た
from
よ
a
うですね。
stress-induced stroke.
Makes
大
sense.
事なお母様を目の
I
前に
imagine it
亡く
must
し
have been rather
さぞ
traumatizing
や
for
ショ
you,
ックだった
since
で
the
しょ
two
う。
of you were so close.
Oh, you know what's even worse? In Cinderella's route, Snow goes to live with his mother.
Yep.
Oh no.
Yep.
Oh, that just dawned on me. What the fuck?
I mean, like, the way, like, everyone separated at the end of Cinderella's route, I felt like set them up perfectly for their own routes, because Snow
Yeah.
went to live with Mother, and then Gretel went off to live in a cabin on his own.
Yeah.
And that's exactly their settings for their routes.
Yeah, exactly. It's so good, but at the same time, it's like once you know the context, you're like,
Yeah.
そのことが原因で引き
And
こ
if
も
that
る
was
よう
what
になる
caused
の
you
も
to close
無理は
yourself
ない
off, I wouldn't blame you.
どうして
How is it that you know
君がそ
about
のこ
that?
とを知ってるの？
Because he's the wizard!
because he's a detective. I mean, the wizard. He's a good wizard. I mean, detective. Snow White asked in a quiet voice. I couldn't speak. I could feel the tension in the air like static against my skin.
とある情
No,
報
I
筋
have
か
my sources.
僕
I'm a
は探偵
detective
なんだ
after all.
ふーん。
Hmm. You talk like you're omniscient.
何で
What
も
are
知っ
you?
てるみ
A
たいだ。
magic mirror?
君は魔法の鏡？
Snow White replied snidely, a rare glimpse of the emotions he generally kept under wraps.
ちなみに
By the
他
way,
のご兄
did
弟
your
はお
other
母様の
brothers
こ
know
と
your
をご
mother?
存知で
Evidently, Snow White caved to the wizard's persistent questioning.
かぐやと
Sorry,
グレーテルは知
eventually.
らないよ。
Kaguya and Gretel never met her.
彼らとは
They
一緒
weren't
に暮
living
らして
with
い
us
な
at
かっ
that
た。
time.
He spoke frankly.
では
What about
シンデレラ
Cinderella
と
and Red
赤ずきん
Riding
さんは
Hood?
知ってるよ。
Yes, they knew her.
では
Did they also
彼ら
find her
のお
body?
母様の死体を
いや、
No,
彼らは
they
見て
didn't
いない。
find her. Well,
もしかした
it's
ら
possible Red Riding Hood
赤
did.
ずきんは見たかもしれないけど。
After all, he's living in the same cabin that she. Never mind. It's a different cabin.
曖昧なんです
How
ね
very How very
Blah, blah, blah.
unspecific of you.
君が言った通り、
Like you said,
俺は
I'm
引
a
きこもり
shut-in.
だからね。
I barely even talk to
兄
them.
弟と話すことする
Hikikimori!
それに、
Besides,
このことにつ
we
いて
have
は
an unspoken agreement
む
not
や
to
みに
talk
触れな
about
いのが
this
俺
stuff.
たちの暗黙の決まりだった。
Hmm.
そうですか
I see.
ありがとうござい
Thank
ま
you
す
for your time.
The wizard pressed a hand to his chest and gave a slight bow. Evidently, that was his final question.
ああそうだ
Oh wait, nearly forgot.
一つお
One
聞
last
きする
question.
ことを忘れて
Sorry.
いました
Would that be alright with you?
すみませんがあと一つだけよろしいですか
That's it. That was your last question. That's a question wizard.
Would that be alright with you? Yes. And then he just walks into his room and closes the door. He held up an index finger.
どうぞ。
Go for it.
Go for it. Someone accepted it without batting an eye.
誰がお母様の
Who was
死
it
を
that told
伝
him
えたん
about
です
your
か
mother's passing?
We have an unspoken agreement to not talk about it. After a brief silence, Snow White stared into the distance.
シンデレラ兄さんに
I
は
was the one who told Cinderella.
そうですか
I see. Okay then.
わかりました
Lastly, we paid a visit to the baby of the family. Don't phrase it like that. Gretel.
He lives in the kitchen.
He lives in the kitchen because of course he does. This room was originally a summer kitchen, but because he was such a fan of sweets, we had it since remodeled into a living space. Not like we were using it anyway.
It was a joke that he lived in the kitchen. I thought he just happened to be there.
No.
Jesus fucking Christ, this game sometimes.
There's books over there. Someone's living here.
I mean, that could just be greater room dining space things, not living space.
It could be cookbooks. You're right. One half of the room was fully furnished kitchen dining area, while the other was half packed full of blah blah blah, packed full of bookshelves.
That was a struggle, huh?
That was.
で、先ほどから兄さんたちのところ
So
で
I
いろいろと
noticed you
聞い
guys
て
have
い
been
るよう
going
です
around
が、
talking to everyone.
僕にも同
Is
じ
it
要
my
件
turn
ですか
now? Girl sat at one end of the table, teacup in hand,
Like an anime
よく
villain.
ご存知で。
I see, you've been paying attention.
A little bit too much
そりゃ
attention.
僕の大事な姉さんをこんな中に連
Obviously.
れ回しているんで
Do
す
you
か
know
ら
what time it
気にな
is?
りますよ
You've been dragging my dear sister all over the house.
It's not quite midnight yet, Gretel, it's fine.
Yeah.
ただでさえ4人もライバルがいるんだ。それに
I already have
これ以上
four
変な
romantic
虫にはついて
rivals.
ほしく
I
な
don't
い
need
ですし
anyone else trying to get their filthy mitts on her.
Uh-huh.
Glaring, he set his teacup down onto its saucer with a loud clack.
と
Hmm.
いうことは、
So you're engaged to Lady
グレーテル
Arisu
さ
as
んも
well, is
アリ
that
ス
it?
嬢と婚約者の間柄ということでよろしいのですか？
So you know what the wizard's doing here,
So
right?
this,
With the default question?
I mean, kind of, but I don't know how to put it in words.
So he's setting a baseline for
Mhm.
everyone. So he's saying he's teeing up a very easy question that they can easily answer and they don't have to lie about.
Yeah.
So that way he can gauge their baseline reaction. That
Mhm.
way when he asks the curveball question, he can see like how that reaction changes and why it would change.
Makes sense.
It's how they do polygraph tests.
Mm.
They have you answer some very basic questions that you would have no reason to lie about. And then they start asking the real questions that they want to know true and false to. Not saying polygraph is 100% accurate, because it is not. It is actually kind of pseudoscience-y. But you can basically do the same thing as a human lie detector.
So you're saying the wizard is a polygraph test?
He is a walking polygraph test, and he's actually probably better at it because he is good at getting into people's heads and figuring out how they think.
True.
And he also has the information of their past to back it up too.
Yeah, he's the wizard after all.
So he's keying them up just to get more information, which is great.
Yes, that's right.
He donned a winning smile and nodded.
お姉さんなのに？
Which is also your sister?
At this, Gretel's smile stiffened. See? So now we're seeing like the change in how he responds to certain questions.
Mm-hmm.
But only for a moment.
義理ですし問題はないでしょ
It's merely a title of
この家に
respect.
預けられた時
After all,
形
her
式上
parents
姉
have
と弟
formally
の
adopted
関係
us,
になっただ
but
けに
she
す
is
ぎ
technically my sister.
Did they not adopt you guys so their fiancés
I was gonna
instead,
say, according to Ryoshi and the backstory we got earlier, they didn't adopt you, or they did with the condition. No, they said instead of that, how about you live in here as her fiance is, and we'll go
Yeah.
from there.
I think Gretel got confused on the head, but that's okay.
He got dropped. It's fine.
預けられたとおっしゃいま
Right,
した
you were
が、
adopted.
あなたは
When
いつ頃
exactly
か
do
ら
you
こ
start
の家
living
に？
here?
もちろん生まれた時からですよあなたも
I
知
was
っての通
born
り
here, as I'm sure you're well aware.
Mm-hmm.
Eh?
そうでした。
Right, of course.
ではあなた
In
は
that
なぜ
case,
この
how were
家に
you
預けられたの
adopted?
でしょうか？
さあ兄さんたちから聞く限りじゃ僕の
How
本
should
当
I
の
know?
両親は
According
す
to
で
my
に死んでる
brothers,
か
my real
いなくな
parents
った
are
みたい
dead
ですけど
or AWOL or something,
僕にと
but
っ
I
ては
never
他
met
人も
them,
同然ですか
so I
ら
couldn't care
どうでもいい
less.
です僕にとっての家族は
As far as I'm
姉さん
concerned,
と
my only family
兄
is
さんたち
sister
だけですから
and my brothers.
なるほど。
I see.
で
In
は
that
質問
case,
を変えましょ
let
う。
me ask. What do you
あ
do
なたは
for a
普段
living?
何をしていますか？
Eat sweets and get bitches.
普通の学生生活を送ってますよ
I'm just an
朝起き
ordinary
て
college
学校に
student.
通って
I wake up in the
家に帰っ
morning,
たら新
go
作
to
のお菓子を
class,
作るか
come home,
受験勉強
and
をす
either
るかの
study
どち
or
らかです
experiment with new recipes.
模範的な
You
学
sound
生
like
で
a
す
model
ね。
student.
模範的な学生で
That's
す
because I am a model student.
聞くところ
All
による
students
と
should
あなたは以前
strive
学校
to
で
be
問
my
題
level
行
of
動を起
Delulu.
こしたことがあるそうですが
Rumor has it you got yourself into a fair bit of trouble at school in the past.
それがどうかしましたか
Is there a problem?
Gretel asked in a low growl.
いいえ
Not at all.
一見優
I
等
suppose
生に
even
見
the
えるあなた
brightest
にも
stars have their dark
影はあるのだ
shadows.
と思って
探偵か何か知りませんがプライバシーの侵害に当たるんじゃないですか
Isn't that an invasion of my privacy?
This is why he's a private investigator.
Yeah, that's why it's a private
すいません。
investigation. He gets into your private
これも調査
areas.
のうちでした
No. Bad.
I said it and I immediately regretted it. I was like, damn it.
Oh god.
He gets into your private past.
Sheesh. I apologize. It's all part of the investigation.
But if he's offering,
Stop.
I'm not gonna say no.
Felix, behave.
No.
This is why
I'm
you're in a
the
cage.
Exactly. This is why I'm in the cage. The wizard offered a strained smile and shrugged.
そんなことより犯人探しの方はどう
More
なんですか
importantly, have you made any progress in finding the culprit?
僕たちに聞き回っているってことは
These interrogations you're doing serve as proof that you suspect us, correct? And you're dragging my poor sister along with you?
白雪兄さんは僕たち兄弟の中に
I
犯
know
人がいるか
Snow
もしれない
White
と
said the
言って
culprit
まし
might
た
be
が
among us. But
Gretel seemed reluctant to let the wizard control the conversation. Yeah, because
いた
Gretel
ら
has
どう
a
します
power fantasy.
Mhm. What if he's right? What then?
もちろん
Purely a
仮の
hypothetical
話です
question, mind you.
もし
If
君
you
の
found
家
out
族で
one
あ
of
る
your
ご兄
dear
弟の
brothers
誰
is
かが
trying to
彼
blackmail
女に脅
her,
迫状を送ったとしたら
that would never happen, because we're all trying to blackmail. I wouldn't do anything.
so loving.
What? This response caught me off guard. Hastily, I clapped a hand out to my mouth. Gretel briefly glanced in my direction, then looked back to the wizard.
白雪兄さんが言ってたじゃないですか。この要求が叶って
Remember
誰
what
が
Snow
得を
White
するの
said?
かって考えれば
If you think
それ
about
は
who
俺
would
たち5
stand
人
to
のう
gain
ちの
from
誰
it,
かでしかない。
it's us.
僕たちはみんな
We're
姉さんが
all
好
in
きな
love
ん
with
です。
her. But
でも
thus far,
姉さんは
she
今
hasn't
まで
chosen
僕た
anyone.
ちを選ぼうとしなかった。姉さんと結ばれるのは
And only one of us can end up with her.
みんなで仲良く。
Sure, it'd be great if all of us could stay together
それって
happily
問
ever
題を見な
after.
いふりをしているだ
That's
け
no
です。
different from putting our heads in the sand.
脅迫状の送り主は
Now
そん
this
な何のような状
blackmailer
況に
is
一
rocking
石
the
を投
boat,
じたんです。そして
and it's
波紋
created
が
a
広がった
ripple effect.
他の兄弟は言わないで
I
しょう
doubt
け
anyone else will have the
僕と
balls
し
to
ては
say this,
どこの
but
状
if you
況は
ask me,
願ったり叶っ
this is
たり
exactly what we need.
これでようやく
At
楽
last,
になれるんだと
there can finally be peace. No more
つま
Cold
り
War between
あなた
brothers.
方ご兄弟は
So you believe that the culprit is indeed among you, and you feel grateful to them for doing what they
その
did?
ことに対して心の内では感謝している。
恐怖でしたからね。
I've
姉
been
さんの
so
一番は誰
anxious,
だろうって。
wondering whose sister loves the most.
一番になれなければ意味がない。
All that matters is the top spot.
一番じゃなきゃ。姉さん
Everyone else will be thrown away, like yesterday's trash.
All right, get in the bin, buddy. We're starting this a day early. Come on.
That's not.
なら
Then why?
他を
Didn't you
殺して
just kill the
奪ってし
others
まえば
and
よ
take
か
her
った
for yourself?
Ha! I'd go to jail, you idiot! The wizard cut in before I could finish my rebuttal.
シンデレラさんも白雪さん
Cinderella,
も
Snow
赤ず
White,
きんさん
Red
も
Riding
か
Hood,
ぐやさん
Kaguya.
Alright,
全
let's
員
go
殺
through
して
the
あなただ
pecking
けが
order.
生き残って彼
So,
女を奪ってしまえばよかった
this is like a little mini tier list. Who could Gretel overpower and kill? Top spot, Snow. As in, like, he would be able to kill Snow.
Yeah.
Let's see. After that, probably Kaguya.
Yeah.
And then below that, I would say Cinderella, because Cinderella is like too stubborn to die. But, you know, he doesn't really have the expertise to fight back. And then we have Red, who has the expertise to fight back.
I would personally swap Red and Cinderella just because I feel like Red is more likely to have a soft spot for Gretel and leave an opening, whereas I feel like Cinderella could really be carried by adrenaline and be fine.
He just breaks the glass Healy's making and shivs him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Cinderella's just like, if Gretel's just like, I'm here to claim a sister, and then he just like breaks the shoe he's working on and just stabs him immediately. Okay, yeah, I could see that. I think Cinderella would be the hardest to kill.
Yeah. Anyway.
I think Red would put up a fight.
Oh yeah,
I do think he'd
definitely.
falter.
Yeah.
Red would put up a fight, but
You could have killed all of them and taken her for yourself.
そしたら
That way you'd
全
reap
部
all
自
the
分のものになっ
rewards.
たのにそう考えたことは
Have you
あ
never
りません
considered
か
that?
only every day since I got here. At this, Gretel fell silent.
Oh,
Oh, he
dear.
definitely considered it.
Yeah.
What was the significance of this pause? Confirmation? Denial? Hesitation? I couldn't tell.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
そうしたとして姉さんは僕を肯定しますか
Oh my god, fuck off. He totally thought of it.
Yeah.
Would you approve of me if I did that, sister? Would
Fuck
you
no.
approve of Gretel's hypothetical killing spree?
Absolutely
the answer
fucking
better
not.
be no.
Yeah, Jesus.
Nope. Murder's generally where I draw the line, I'd say.
Valid.
Generally where you draw the line? Oh my god, what the fuck? I feel like there'd be a line drawn like at least 3 to 4 to 5 steps before murder, but okay, you do you, honey. Smiling, I shook my head.
ですよね
Thought so.
でも少
That
し疑
said,
問があるんです
I
よ
do have questions.
何ですか
Like what?
The wizard lowered the cup from his own lips and smiled. How did the
僕た
poison
ち兄弟の
taste?
誰かが脅迫状を送ったとしたら
You're supposing one of us 5 sent the blackmail letter, but I can't imagine any of us would ever threaten sister.
というわけで
Which brings me to my next point, Mr.
僕はあ
Wizard.
なたの存在を
I
許
do not
してい
accept
る
your
わけでは
presence
あり
here.
ません
For all we
も
know,
しかしたらあな
you
たが
might
犯
be
人
the
という
culprit.
可能性は
True.
否定できていないですしねなので今すぐ身の潔白を証明してください
I demand you prove your innocence. Right here and now.
なぜ
What for?
The wizard set his cup down on the table and leaned forward on his elbows.
あんたは知りすぎてるからだよ
Because you know too much.
探偵
Well,
ですか
I am a detective.
探偵だからって
That
僕たち
doesn't
の
make
プ
it
ライベートな
okay
こと
for
ま
you
で
to stick your
首を
nose
突っ込んで
into
いい
our
ということに
business.
はならない
Because the detective specifically hired for this, so yes, it does.
身の潔白か
Prove my innocence. Hmm.
Yes, prove your innocence.
I mean, Mr. Wizard didn't show up of his own accord. He became because Ryoshi asked him to. Doesn't that count as proof?
He became. Okay.
Blah blah blah. He came. Which is another statement I'm gonna regret saying like that.
Someone clip it in just that part and nothing else.
Fuck. He hadn't asked me for help, but I offered it nonetheless.
漁師さんと共謀しているという可能性もありますよね。
Isn't it possible Huntsman is in on it?
うん。
Hmm.
そう言われ
I
る
can't
と
deny
否定は
that.
できないね。
True.
でも僕
But I
に
wouldn't
は何の
benefit
メリ
from
ットもない。 僕とアリス嬢は
Lady Arisu is
探偵と
merely
依
my
頼主と
client.
いう関係
Nothing
性
more.
以上のものは
What do
ない
I stand to gain if she were to marry one of you?
アリス嬢が5人のうち誰かを選んだとしても、
それは。
Well,
At this, Gretel faltered. The wizard had a point.
強いて言え
Fitting
ば、
love.
この一連の事
The
件が
most
片付
benefit I
いて
can
よか
see
った
is
とい
in
うことく
putting
らい
this
でしょ
case
う
to
か。
rest once and for all.
Gretel still didn't appear convinced, but at the same time, he seemed to sense that there was no point in pressing further.
まあ、いいですよ。とりあえ
fine.
ずのところはいろいろと
Whatever.
嗅ぎ回っていただいて
For now,
構い
you're
ま
free to
せん。
sniff around as much as
こ
you
ちらも
like.
協力できることは
I'll
協
help where
力しますの
possible.
で。
So if you have any
また
more
何か聞き
questions,
たいことがあった
come
ら
see
聞
me
いてください。
anytime.
He raised a hand and shooed us away.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you kindly.
協力者
The
は
more
多いほど
cooperation you could provide,
事件
the
解決
faster
に
we
つなが
could
ります
solve
か
the
ら。
case.
The wizard pressed a hand to his chest and bowed gracefully.
いえいえ。僕もちょうど
No
新
problem.
作の毒味役が欲し
Personally,
か
I'm
った。
excited to make you my guinea pig for all the potentially poisonous new recipes.
Not to be outdone, Gretel donned a sardonic sneer.
There you go.
That's a new one. Now that we have spoken to all 5 brothers, the 2 of us returned to the living room. The wizard sat down on the sofa and fixed me with a meaningful smile.
これで全員に
Well,
事情
now
を
we've
聞けました
spoken
ね
to everyone.
いやー、
Baggage!
アリス嬢。
I must say, Lady Arisu,
あの
it appears the
5
five of
人の
them
兄弟
really
に
love you,
とても愛
don't
され
they?
ているようですね。
I know, I'm hot shit.
So, have you changed your mind about choosing someone? It would solve
そうすれ
everything,
ば
you
万
know.
事解決ですよ。
Yeah, exactly. Choose someone. It's done and over with, honestly. I could tell he was joking, but I didn't respond.
I don't think he's joking.
He's kind of joking. He's just like, oh yeah, it would definitely solve the case if you did this. Haha, wouldn't that be crazy if you did that?
Yeah, just imagine if there was an easy solution to all this.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, it's not an easy solution.
Obviously, I knew the easiest solution would be to choose one of them.
Yeah, no shit.
But I couldn't. Honestly, if it came to that, I would rather just die.
Well, lucky you, Reikyu. That seems to be the alternative here.
Well, aren't you in luck? Wait 5 days and fuck around and see.
Of course, dying wasn't my preferred option, which is why I had hired a detective in a last-ditch effort to find the culprit. Say, Mr. Wizard?
Mr. Wizard.
Mr. Wizard! Ignoring his question, I decided to ask one of my own.
何ですか？
What is it?
Why did you ask them that stuff?
あんなこととは
What stuff?
You kept digging into their past, prodding at their old wounds.
It was something I had wondered the whole time as I stood there listening to each interrogation.
Why do you think the wizard did that? Out of curiosity.
I think I think we're still in the Looking Glass world. I think he was trying to poke into their past to show that, like, hey, reality isn't as you know it. But in the context of the story, I think he's prodding into their past to kind of stir the pot, you know, like how the letters started stirring up the pot. I think he wants the brothers to fight more because he's going to get more evidence out of that. I think he's trying to like stir up negative feelings. I think he's trying to like get them at least suspecting each other to try to like unravel this quote unquote happy ending that they all have. Because Reikyu says it as like a joke or a lead up to a joke very early in this story where it's like, and we lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, this is like the after the happy ever after. What happens after that? And typically with these types of stories where they live happily ever after, they don't typically live happily ever after. They live like messily ever after because there's still problems that they're not dealing with. There's still baggage that's going to come up. So I think he's digging into their past and saying, hey, you can't ignore this while also ignoring the current situation.
Fair enough.
What are your thoughts, though?
Oh, I can't share because of what I know.
Fuck. But those are my two theories right now.
Interesting.
That said, I didn't feel I had the right to criticize his work when I had no experience in the field myself. Hence, I had stayed quiet.
心の傷ですか?
No trauma, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's trauma. And they're not dealing with it. And Ryoshi's treatment... if we think of this as like an experiment for Ryoshi's treatment, then they're not... Like, giving them all one fiancé, like, quote-unquote, happily ever after, it's not going to fix things. It's just going to bubble and toil and bubble over until everything explodes. He spoke in a quiet voice, smiling faintly. Somehow I felt like he was going to be condescending, and I snapped back at him.
Yes, they're trauma. They may not show it, but they've all gone through some rough stuff in the past. Stuff they wish they could forget.
Yes, I imagine so.
Yeah, but the wizard's saying, like, well, they're not dealing with it, so even if they do forget it, and once something comes up that re-triggers it, well, they're going back to what they were doing before to cope with it. He nodded, and I felt satisfied in my rebuttal. Feeling cocky, I kept going, let's go.
So why dig it all up? Is this gonna help us find the culprit?
Yes, of course.
Because the culprit is Reikyu herself. For a second, this threw me for a loop. I thought I had the moral high ground, but it felt like he was suggesting I was being hysterical or something.
By having a precise understanding of their pain and suffering, I can plan my next moves accordingly.
How does that work?
It struck me as absurd.
Basically, they're trying to get a grasp of them as individuals.
I don't follow. I mean, I'm the one the culprit's after. If you're gonna do some digging, isn't it my past that matters?
No, your past don't matter.
Yours?
You don't have one.
Alrighty then, out of curiosity, what's your life story?
Oh, I could answer this.
La-di-da-di-da, I'm so pretty. Oh boy, I'm overseas. Oh, I hear about these boys that sound really cool and interesting. I want to date them, and then I come back here, and now they're my fiancés.
Like, what trauma do you have, Rikyu?
You're just gonna come out right out and ask?
You're offering.
おかしい
Yeah.
ですか
Is there a problem?
You know, I assume you already knew everything, but I guess not, huh?
I retorted sarcastically.
万能な人間
No
なん
one
て
in
こ
this
の世に
world is
存在しません
omnipotent after all. Or omnipotent. I know how to read words.
Omnipotent.
True that.
I snickered. Hehehehe.
僕が君について
All
知
I
ってい
know
ること
about
とい
you
え
is your
ば
family, your current
家族構
situation,
成
and your personal
現在置かれ
goals.
ている環境
Damn.
それと
That's a lot. I mean, what's left to investigate at that point?
Quite a bit. My lips curled in a defiant smirk. At this, the wizard rose to his feet and strode right over to me. Before I could react, he pointed at my chest. Boobs.
君の心です
Your heart.
僕には
That too.
You see, I don't quite understand how you tick.
His calm smile had vanished without a trace. I felt like he was criticizing me. My heart thumped in my chest.
I don't want to sit back and let the culprit murder me. That's why I hired you, as a last-ditch effort. I don't have a dark past, nor do I have any trauma of my own.
Doubt?
I'm not like them. I was blessed with a privileged life and a happy family.
Your family ignores you half the time.
そうですか
And I see.
Smirking, he took a half step backwards. Freed from his scrutiny, I looked around the room and caught sight of the clock. It was getting late.
Maya, look at the time. Why don't you stay here for the night?
Your family set you up with 5
No,
strangers who
Maya,
you call siblings.
Only
True,
one.
Spooky.
Only one.
No, only one calls her sister.
Why, thank you. I like that very much.
But like, adoption was on the table for 5 seconds.
Yep. At least Yoshi's like, no, she's gonna want to date these men.
Yeah.
I think this is a good place to end for the night.
Yeah. Day 1 of investigations. Dun dun dun. Now we get into the trial of day 2.
Oh boy.
Get used to that. That's gonna be a lot of Phoenix Wright.
I'll just have to pull out my Danganronpa references then, I guess. I don't know.
Honestly, not bad. Like, Danganronpa and, oddly enough, there's like a weird, like, fan base overlap between, like, Danganronpa, Phoenix Wright, and 999 of all things.
Is it really that shocking?
Not really, but, like...
I think
you
it
can
makes
make-
perfect sense.
You can make a lot of references between those 3 games alone.
Yeah, it's like there's murder mysteries, and 2 of them are by Spike Chunsoft in particular. Or at least published. Same difference.
Yeah.
For our intents and purposes, same difference.
Same difference. So, Mr. I'm gonna keep everything a secret.
It's mostly one
Over
thing
there.
that has to be a secret, which is why I can't say anything, because there's a lot of details that go into that now. And so that's why I can't say anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. Yeah, totally.
Gee,
Gee, I wonder why there's a fan overlap between the whodunit puzzle-based visual novels with anime art styles.
truly the greatest mystery ever.
I'm just saying a lot of memes and references from those games will overlap with each other. So if you have 2 of those games as a basis, you will just make references to those 2 games as you play the 3rd one.
Makes sense.
So,
Yes.
Wizard Root.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about Dick Wizard?
Why are you calling him a dick?
Cause short for detective is Dick.
Right.
What, you want me to call him Wizard?
With that, do you have any parting words for chat?
Let me out. Let me out.
An ad break just started. I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna cancel the raid.
The raid has been canceled. No.
Yeah, because an ad break is in progress.
No. Fuck the ad breaks.
Any parting words for real? For real?
Take care of your bodies because you will have joint pain when you're older, and you can mitigate that by exercising now.
Fair. All right. Bye bye, everyone.